Acrisure Stadium in Hempstead, New York, Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network presents the Long Island Football Championships. Tonight in the Conference 1 Showdown, it's the Patchogue Red Raiders taking on the Red Devils of Freeport. Well, hi again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers along with Tom Howard. So far, it's been all Suffolk County, Tom. They've won the first 3 games. This one figures to be a very close game, however.
It certainly does, Barry. We have 2 real top-notch teams against each other. Patchogue Medford able to come into the game to run the ball, and Freeport has a great run-and-shoot offense.
Well, let's talk about the Freeport Club, a run-and-shoot. They survived the scare against Massapequa in the championship game last week. They're here. They're a club that likes to pass the ball, but they've got a brilliant runner by the name of Clifton Smith.
Well, Clifton Smith can run the ball. He's big. He's physical, 6'2", 230. He's only a junior. Carried the ball 110 times for 988 yards, 9 TDs. And Russ Selwyn really is in good shape right now, the coach from Freeport, because he has great weather here tonight. It's warm. It's clear. And he has to get Clifton Smith going, and behind quarterback Fred Pierce, who's only a sophomore, who can throw the ball out of that run and shoot. So between Clifton Smith and Freddie Pierce, I think Russ Selwyn really has a great one going for him tonight.
Well, the Red Raiders, of course, of Patchogue have won 18 in a row. They've been the dominant club of Suffolk County the last 2 years. Of course, they won in last year's championship game here. And they're a club that has no mistakes. There's no weaknesses on this club.
There certainly isn't. They run the ball behind their big, real tough offensive line. And they have Finaro in the backfield, who has 31 touchdowns on the year. He's able to run the ball behind big fullback Greg Murphy. Finaro, 1,691 yards, 31 TDs. Murphy, 142 carries for 1162. And they both go behind Derek Rossi, the huge blocking back, power back, number 88, Derek Rossi. So they do what Coach Bobby Scanoni wants. He wants mistake-free football following the big offensive line.
And the Patchogue defense has been outstanding all year. Our colleague Jimmy Cavallo returns with the coaches. Get set for championship high school football coming up next on Cablevision's LISN.
And welcome back to Hofstra for this Class 1 championship of Long Island. We start with Freeport's head coach, Russ Selwyn. Russ, 12 years at the helm. Got to feel good to have yourself here in this Long Island championship for the first time.
Oh, it's tremendous. It's been a goal of ours for a real long time. We came up short a couple times in the last couple of years. We finally made it here. We feel good about it.
You know, when talking to yourself about your team, you look at your guys run into this Long Island title. Is the proverbial peaking at the right time?
Yeah, we had a loss late in the season, and we reacted well to it. Actually, it helped us down the stretch, and we've been playing pretty well for the last couple of weeks.
You know, when you look at your opponent tonight and you read the clippings, average margin of victory, 33 points, you know they're going to come right at you. How do you go about it?
Well, they're a real good team, and I think, you know, we have to try to keep them off balance a little bit. We can't just go in there and run the ball. We can't just throw the ball. We have to, you know, we have to try to keep them off balance and spread the field like we're used to doing.
You need your big guy out of the backfield to have a good day out of the run and shoot?
No doubt about it. Clifton Smith is going to have to come up big for us, along with the quarterback, Freddie Pierce.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
Let's turn it over to Bob Scanoni of Patchogue Medford, 1983 East Islip grad. So we know South Champion is happy out there somewhere to see you here. You coach, you come in as a defending champ. How much does that play? Do you guys have a repeat theme going?
I don't think we really think about it, to be honest with you. The kids started out this year. We graduated some real good football players last year, and we had to replace the whole offensive line. We had the backs back, and the kids just went and worked hard. And the goal is to win every single football game, and it always is. And the kids responded. They played well and got some breaks, and we stayed healthy, and we're here again.
You know, you talk about your offensive line. That's really been the buzz around the football circles here on Long Island about the way you guys go about moving the ball 6 yards at a clip. Just traditional power football.
Yeah, the kids are, you know, they're a little on the short side, but they're physical and they're tough and they work hard and they do what you ask them. And anytime you got kids like that, you got a chance anywhere you are.
You know you're going to see a good team in Freeport, the run and shoot offense. You guys have had 5 shutouts this year. Give me a little scouting report on what you got to do to stop them.
Well, I think as their coach said, number 9 is tough in the middle. You better stop him, and that quarterback can scramble and throw the ball. And hopefully you can contain him, because if you don't contain him, you're going to be in for some trouble.
All right, that's Bob Scanoni. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, the 10-0 Patchogue Medford. We are just moments away from the start of this Class 1 championship. We'll take a short break. Barry Landers and Tom Howard are back with today's starting lineup. You're watching the Long Island Football Championships right here on Cablevision's LISN.
Cablevision. Barry Landers along with Tom Howard, the Long Island Class 1 final. Freeport once beaten, taking on the undefeated Patchogue Medford Red Raiders. Let's go down to the referee, Donnie Lundigan, for the coin toss.
Nicholas Jr., Line to Gate Crew Guy Becker, Ebony All right, guys, you know the officials working with us tonight. Bob Dillon's going to be your back judge. Jim Walters is going to be your line judge. Dennis Crane's going to be your umpire. And Bob Mezzaganis is going to be your headlinesman. All right, fellas, it's a big game for everybody. We want to have fun out here tonight. We're here to play football, and that's what we're going to play football. We don't want any crap. We want a football game tonight, right? This is your game. You play the game. We're not going to bother with anybody. You guys play the game. Give me a spokesman over here. All right, in the air. That's the heads. That's the tails, okay? In the air. Tails he called. You got a tails, my friend. Your choice. You have a choice of kick, receive, defend the goal, defer your choice to the next half. White has won the toss. They're going to defer. Gentlemen, you got a choice of kick, receive, defend the goal. You want the ball? What goal you want to defend? Put your back up here. Put your back over here, please. All right. White, kicking this way. Black is going to receive it over here. Hey, you guys have a great game tonight. Enjoy it.
All right, Donnie Lundergan, our referee with the call. He's a great guy. We see him around lacrosse, and we should be in for a great football game.
We really are, and we can watch right off the bat. Patchogue Medford is taking the ball. If you remember last year, Barry, Patchogue Medford and Uniondale faced up against each other. For the first half, it was back and forth. Patchogue Medford, though, in the second half decided to come out. They decided to drive the ball, and they went on 4th down on their own 29-yard line, 4th and 1, and from there on in, they never gave up the ball again, came out with a 21-6 victory.
And the folks from Suffolk County, as they have through the first 3 games, have come out in droves here. Well, you can see the line of cars on the Southern State Parkway making their way from Patchogue, Medford area. And they really support the Red Raiders. They had a huge crowd for the last 2 games when they played Sachem 3 weeks ago. They had a huge crowd in the final regular season game and a big game crowd last week against Brentwood.
Excellent crowd against Brentwood, and they played Comac and had a big crowd there. So right through the year, Patchogue Medford has a great fan base.
And earlier it was Bob Reefschneider, the coach, and then Bob Scanoni has done a great job.
Bob has done an excellent job since he's taken over. He's taken the Patchogue Medford Red Raiders in 5 years, 33-9-4. But last year, 9-1-1. This year, 10-0, 19-1-1 over the past 2 years.
They lost early last year to Sachem, had a tie early, and have won 18 games in a row since. Red Raiders will be kicking off to the Red Raiders will be receiving the ball from the Red Devils. And
a lot of red and black out there tonight.
And this Freeport club, you know, a few years, they've been the bridesmaids. Everybody expected them to win the last couple of years. Russ Sellen's club has fallen short, and now they're finally here for the big dance.
Well, Barry, they have great athletes on the field. Occasionally they make mistakes. Tonight, Russ said, hey, we can't make any mistakes, guys. We're on a positive note here tonight. We've been on that side of the field, the visitor sideline, the last 3 games. We've won all 3 games. Real close one over Massapequa. Here they go tonight, taking on a real physical team from Suffolk County and Patchogue Medford.
Finaro and Murphy, 2 great runners, are back to receive the kick. And we're underway as Angel Gomez kicks this one away. Finaro will take it at the 10. Finaro trying to turn outside to the 20. Finaro, big and strong, pounded down as he got to the 27-yard line and brought down after we returned it by Chris Bunyan. Take a look at the Patchogue Medford starters.
Well, they have Sirigliano, quarterback, a sophomore, but very good. Finaro and Murphy, 2,000-yard gains in the backfield, followed by big Derek Rossi, probably the best football player on the field right now. Robinson and Bowler are the ends. Catapano, Orlandi, Warrensoff, Kalmeyer, and Cardone make up that big physical offensive line.
They're not tall. They're all kind of squat, but very strong.
And they're physically strong up front and tough to bring down. You saw in that opening kickoff right there how Mike Finaro has the speed, big and strong, but also has the speed against Freeport. Take a look right there. Sirigliano can pass the ball if he has to.
7 touchdown passes. On the first play, they'll go to Murphy. And the big fullback will pick up across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Brought down on the play by Freeport's James Jackson, number 5.
Okay, they run a 4-3 up front. Freeport does. Brown, Bryant, Ramirez, and Monroe. Linebacking core made up of Jackson, Smith, and Ely. And the defensive secondary, real good with great speed. Thompson, Gomez, Noble, and Huggins.
2nd and 6. Finaro is the tailback. Murphy, the upback, the fullback. Offset eye now. And Finaro turns the corner. 40-yard line. And driven out of bounds, but not before he picked up a first down. Devon Noble knocking him out of bounds.
Barry, after 2 plays, I can tell you right now, if Freeport wants to play their regular defense, and they're a good one, but if they want to stay in their regular 4-3 defense, they're going to have problems. They are not going to be able to play. They have to put 8 or 9 men in the box to stop this running game. Take a look right here. Finau keeps his head up, sees the hole right now to the outside, and breaks to the outside. There's a great offensive line. Freeport is playing 4-3 with 4 guys off the ball. Their corners are back off the ball and back out of the way. That means it's 7 on 8. Patchogue is winning the battle, 8 men on 7.
1st and 10. And this time Murphy stood up and driven back. Excellent tackle that time by Clifton Smith and tackle Eddie Bryant. Smith out of his linebacker spot and Bryant a defensive lineman.
Well, you see right there, Coach Bobby Scanoni, he's talking to Mike Sirigliano, the quarterback, and Clifton Smith is a real good one. He's only a junior. They moved him in the beginning of the year. Great defensive player. Has been there all along, but moved him from tackle position. As you see Russ Sellon over there. Russ took him out of his tackle position from the line and moved him to fullback. He's done a great job, and as a defensive linebacker, he is definitely a Division I prospect.
2nd down and 10 at their own 46-yard line. Quarterback is Mike Sirigliano. Handing off, and this is for narrow, no hole. Good job by Freeport again, shutting down what appeared to be a very short hole, and it'll set up a 3rd down play. Chris Monroe, number 72, on the stop.
Notice the 7-man front that time, though. They went almost to a 7-diamond defense, a 7-1. They had every gap covered. They shut them down. That's what they have to do. They can't sit in the 4-3 where they're sitting back. They were sitting back the first 2 plays in the 4-3. They came up to a 7-man defensive line that last time, and they were able to shut down Finaro. 3rd and 7. Take a look right now at this defensive line. There's Smith in the middle.
They've got an 8-man line right now, an 8-man line on 3rd down and long yardage. Funaro tries the left side, slips a tackle, stays in bounds, still going. Funaro using that great leg drive at 215 pounds, drags tacklers inside the 10-yard line.
Where is Funaro running, though? Keeps his head up and breaks it to the outside. When you have an 8-man line, every gap is covered, but to the outside, Barry, you need your corners to come up and make the hits. Unfortunately, that time, you saw how Mike Funaro tight-roped along the sideline, broke it to the outside, and kept going. Watch his leg drive at the end of this. Big pull right there by number 52, Mike Kalmeyer, and Finau right here, tight ropes the sideline, keeps his feet in bounds, cuts back to the inside, gets dragged from behind. You see number 8 coming into the picture right now, Donovan Noble, and he just drags Donovan for 10 extra yards.
Goal to go at the 9-yard line. They'll stay on the ground here, and Funaro, not much, maybe to the 8-yard line. James Jackson, the linebacker, along with Chris Monroe, the tackle, made the stop. But, you know, people don't realize that for a 215-pounder, how fast this guy is. He's got 4.6 speed.
Great speed, great legs. If you take a look at his legs, I mean, he has good physical calves, thighs, just a real tough kid. And Greg Murphy, right in front of him, 5'11", 189-pound senior, 2-way player fullback, is a great one also. There's his legs right there. Look at the size of those calves. I mean, he just, and has speed off of them, too.
31 touchdowns he scored this year. Play action, Sirigliano open in the corner of the end zone is Chris Bowler. Touchdown.
You know, you saw that off the last play. 2 plays ago, they handed off to Finaro, but you saw Sirigliano come off the left corner and knew he was wide open. Coach Scanoni saw that, said, hey, we're going to go back to the right side. We're going to take our tight end, Chris Bowler. We're going to block down for 2 counts, have him just go into the corner of the end zone. Everybody's fighting off Finaro running. Chris Bowler wide open, just had to wait for the pass to come.
Chris Bowler, an all-county end, and Bob Scanoni's club coming out looking very sharp.
Well, I tell you, anytime you take the opening drive and drive the length of the field in 3 minutes, you've done a great job.
That is his 2nd touchdown reception of the year. They'll go for 2 behind Finaro, gets a block, but will be stopped. Good play, Donovan Noble, one of the tacklers who came up from the secondary along with Gideon Huggins.
And Bobby Scanoni may think that we're going to have a lot of touchdowns today, but anytime you miss an extra point, I'm concerned. You don't make an extra point, there's cause for concern. It could come back and haunt you sometime. Take a look one more time at the touchdown pass. Just a fake right there, the faking, the tailback off tackle. Sirigliano to Bowler in the end zone, wide open. Nobody on defensive coverage because they brought on the fake and came up to make the hit.
7 plays, 73 yards, under 3 minutes.
And there's a pass one more time. And that's a tough one to catch because you're sitting there waiting. It seems like it takes so long, Barry. Chris Bowler, the 5'10", 180-pound senior, saying, please, please, get to me.
He's an excellent blocker, can go to the backfield if needed, 2-year starter, and an all-county player. He's another one of those good 2-way players. He's a defensive end.
He really is. And how do you feel as Bobby Scanoni when you're able to take the ball on the opening kickoff of the game, drive the length of the field, do what you want to do. Run the ball inside, run the ball outside, even come up with a pass. Bobby Scanoni throws about 3 passes a game. He's wasted one of them already for a touchdown, so he only has 2 left in his arsenal.
Well, we saw Belport do that. You know, you run, and then you set up a pass nobody's expecting. They got those 2 quick touchdown passes in the second quarter.
Any good football team can pass the ball. Every one of the Suffolk County football teams this year reminds me of the old NFL. They're the teams that come out and they run the ball at you. All the Nassau County teams like the old AFL. They're passing teams. They want to put the ball up. And we're going to get to see in a couple of minutes Freddie Pierce come out with that run-and-shoot offense, and to see what Russ Selwyn's Chargers are going to be able to do.
For sophomore quarterback Mike Sirigliano, his 8th touchdown pass of the year. This one coming downfield, and will be taken by Eduardo Gomez, a speedster. Gomez in trouble. Gomez will not get away from the tackle of number 10, Nicholas Richard.
And Barry, I think anybody who thinks that Patchogue Medford is just big and physical is wrong. They are fast. And if people don't think they can keep up with Freeport, they're making a big mistake. On offense, Freddie Pierce, sophomore quarterback, doing a great job this year. Gomez, Clifton Smith, the big fullback, Donovan Noble, James Jackson, and Gideon Huggins, all wide receivers. Brown, Ramirez, Monroe, and Jeffries, the big line up front.
What happened was that Ramirez went from running back to wide receiver. They moved Smith from the offensive line to the backfield, and in their single setback, that has been a big difference.
And you can see right now, defensively, Patchogue Medford is coming out. They have 7 men in the box, so they can contain the run.
They want to spread the field. Smith tripped up as he banged from the 16 to about the 18, 19-yard line by Al Cardone, one of the members of that tough defensive line.
And you see that Patchogue that Bobby Scanoni's telling him right now. You see that Patchogue defense up front. They're putting 7 in the box, so they're playing man-to-man. The big defensive line, Robinson, Belber, Orlandi, Cardone, and Boulder. Boulder on the left side. Rossi and Kalmeyer are the 2 linebackers. Derek Rossi, one of the best in the county. May, Funaro, Sirigliano, and Murphy, defensive backs, man-to-man coverage.
5 all-county players on that defense. Back to throw with time. Pierce drills it up the middle, complete for a first down to Donovan Noble across the 40-yard line to the 42. It's a gain of 24-yard lines. Matt May on the cover.
Well, Matt's playing again. We're going man-to-man. This is exactly what Russ Selwyn saw in the first play when he ran. He says, hey, great. We're matched up what we want to be. You're going to watch right now. Freddie Pierce drops back. Donovan Noble going down, cutting across the middle. He sees him. He lays the ball on the money. Great pass, and he has the ability to do that. Freddie Pierce so far, 44 of 108, 528 yards and 8 TDs.
Percentage is not great, but he can really let it out. 528 yards on 44 completions.
5 weeks in the rain, though. Remember that.
Yeah.
When they have a run-and-shoot offense like this, you have to throw in the rain, and that's why his percentages are so good.
He was only 2 for 12 against Massapequa last time they played. Short pitch to James Jackson, and he got popped. What a hit by Derek Rossi, who may be headed to either Penn State, Michigan, or Ohio State.
Well, he has visits set up to those. He still has 2 more visits he can take, but Derek Rossi is truly just a great linebacker. All-kind linebacker, 6'3", 217. And last year, Bobby Scanoni decided in the second half against Uniondale, we're going to go behind Rossi every play. They followed him to victory.
He had 160 tackles last year as a junior. This year as a senior, he's had 86, including a couple of interceptions for Bobby Scanoni.
Still the #1 tackle on the team, though. They spread it out a little bit more this year, Barry.
2nd and 6, again in that run and shoot. And Smith tries the left side of the line, slips a tackle, and driven out of bounds at the midfield marker by Rossi.
Well, I tell you, he's counting right there. Clifton Smith counters for Mike Funaro and Greg Murphy, the big running back for Patchogue Medford. Well, Freeport has a big running back themselves. You saw it's very hard to bring down Clifton Smith. When you're 6'2", 230, that's a tough load coming at you.
He's only a junior. Excellent blocker, good hands, very unselfish player. He's an excellent student. And at 230 pounds, 2-way player. It is 3rd and 3 for the Red Devils. As we await the play. Again, 4 wide receivers set. Jackson and Noble to the left.
There's
Huggins to the near
Rossi's
side.
big fan right there, number 88, running through the bleachers.
Pierce to throw, and it's going to be intercepted. Stolen away by number 73, Seth Belber. Matt Catapano was putting the pressure on.
And Matt Catapano, number 16, all-division player, got in there, got his hands up, batted the ball off his hands, and you saw Belber come down with it and start to rumble.
Well, the good teams force turnovers. Belber at 6', 203, gets the football, and Patchogue Medford gets excellent field position here.
Can't make mistakes, and unfortunately, this is a mistake. You know, Pierce saw an open receiver. He's only 5'10". The hand got up in the way, and the ball went up in the air, and they came down. Take a look right now. Fred Pierce drops back, and watch the hand right now come up. Bang, right off the face mask, Barry. Right off his face mask.
Well,
and you saw number 73, Seth Belber, the 6 foot, 203 pound senior, come down with the ball and rumble for 4 or 5 yards on his own.
Opportunistic defense, only allowing 125 yards a game. They go to the fullback Murphy, and he's stopped by Clifton Smith. Power against power there. Gain of 1. And they move it to the 41-yard line.
Well, Clifton Smith is a real good one at middle linebacker, and his first look is always to Murphy. What direction? Because Murphy takes you to the play 3/4 of the time. What direction is Murphy going in? I'm going to follow him to the play.
It's a little overshadowed by Funaro, but Murphy gained almost 1,200 yards this year.
1,162 yards and 9 TDs. And when you have 2,000-yard running backs, we've seen 3 Suffolk teams have that so far, you know you have a great offense.
Had a great game against Long with 166 yards and a couple of touchdowns. 2nd and long. Sirigliano keeping. He's an excellent runner. The sophomore will be stopped by Gideon Huggins. And stopped after he picked up about 3. It'll set up a 3rd and about 3 or 4.
Great tackle on the play. I mean, just double leg, wrap, lock, and take him down. And Barry, when you talk about great high school football, especially in championship games, blocking and tackling are key. They're the basic fundamentals. Watch this tackle coming up right now. Mike Sirigliano takes the ball. He follows his blockers off the corner, led by number 88, Derek Rossi, at the corner. But there's a nice hit. Ball about to come out after he hits the ground. That's when the ball is stolen. Good call by the referee.
Sirigliano out of the eye with a wing to the left side. Handing off. Funaro's got some blockers. Won't get away that time from Clifton Smith.
And Clifton's tracking down from behind. That was just a counter tray right there, Barry. They're pulling the offside guard, the offside tackle down the line, and all Clifton Smith did is follow the tackle, get behind him, and was able to tackle Funaro from behind.
Well, this is a team that will go for it on 4th down from anywhere in the field because they have that much confidence in their ability to move the football.
But if I'm Freeport, I'm saying, hey, you know something, guys? It's 4th and 3. Down on the goal line before it was on the 3-yard line, and we stopped them on an extra point. We can do it. You have to believe. Big down here after the turnover. We need to stop it for Freeport.
Chris Robinson lines up wide to the right along with Derek Rossi.
See, I'm ignoring right now their pass receivers. I mean, you may think I'm crazy, but 4th and 3, they're probably not going to pass the ball. They like to run the ball. I'm watching up the middle.
This time they'll give it to Murphy. Murphy close to the 1st down. Let's see where they spot it. Freeport thinks they've stopped him, and apparently the fans on the far side think they've stopped him to the Freeport fans.
Knowing Bobby Scanoni, he's going to detour you as best he can. He's going to throw all guys out. I'm going to challenge him by saying, hey, you know something, Bobby? I'm going to cover 2 of your guys. You're twins with 1 guy. Let's make you put the ball in the air and see what you can do.
So they have stopped him. And an important stop that time for the Freeport defense.
Well, whenever you have a turnover, Barry, you want to make sure when you come back that you stop that team and get the ball back. That didn't cost them anything. It only cost them 10 yards right now. Field position isn't even that bad.
Take a look at the road to the top for the Red Devils. They bombed your Farmingdale club pretty good, 28-8. And then scare against Massapequa.
Well, Massapequa came back in the last couple of seconds, and Pete Anselmo caught a touchdown pass, but it was denied. Patchogue Medford rode to the top, a blowout over Comac, 38-0. And then a 40-13 win over a Brentwood team that was game in the first half.
Pierce back to throw on 1st down with time. Now will scramble, avoids a tackle. He's got 40 at the 45, has the 1st down. Wrestled down after a 12-yard pickup and brought down by Matt May. So good pickup, and that is another element of Freddie Pierce. He's an excellent runner. He's got a strong arm. He can drill the football. He's got to improve on his touch a little bit as we go to Jimmy Cavallo.
As we're looking at Freeport's road to this game and talking to Russ Ellen, he says, you know, it's funny. The game we lost to Farmingdale in the last regular season year was the best thing that could have happened to this program. It gave us our focus back. We were winning games coming into that game and just kind of sleepwalking through it. He says we lost that game, and it gave us the proverbial edge back. Back upstairs.
All right, thanks very much, Jimmy Cavallo. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Here's Smith trying to turn outside, wrestle down. Around him with the leg is Chris Bowler, number 44.
Well, nice running backs on both teams, Barry, that are big, physical, strong, and able to break tackles.
So they'll mark it up and around the 48-yard line. A gain of 3. Let's make it 2nd and 7. 3:50 to go in the 1st quarter. Barry Landers along with Tom Howard, Jimmy Cavallo. Nick Schroeder, former Smithtown coach, will be joining us in the 2nd quarter. And we will have his comments on the activities tonight. Right now, Freeport with that 4 wide receiver set, the run and shoot for the 2nd and 7. Smith directly behind the quarterback. Pierce quick drop. looking. It's going to be almost intercepted by Rossi. He was looking for Noble, and Rossi had visions of 6 points.
Well, no, Rossi was looking for 6 before he caught the football, and Derek Rossi, probably the premier linebacker in Suffolk County, saw that ball in his hands, saw that end zone. I mean, when you're out in the flat and you see that end zone, you want to go. Look at that, perfect pass. He steps right in front just like he thought to do, but unfortunately doesn't bring the ball down. It gives Freeport some more life.
Well, breathing a sigh of relief is Russ Sellon on the sideline.
Well, they need to come up big here. They're down 6-0. They can't afford to give up another touchdown before they score at this point, Barry. They need to do something on this third down situation.
Out of the shotgun now. Pierce with time. Throwing it deep downfield. He's got a receiver out there. Bobble Jackson's got it. Touchdown! James Jackson, 52-yard touchdown pass as he beat Mike Sirigliano.
Well, that's tough for a sophomore because Mike Sirigliano's doing a great job at quarterback. Coach Scanoni has him back as the safety. He drops over. He had decent coverage. He just didn't come down with the ball. James Jackson has great speed. The 5'10", 200-pound senior is able to burn him. He got down the sideline, and the pass by Pierce was on the money. Bobbled a little bit, but Jackson with great concentration was able to call it. You see Bobby Scanoni right there, a little smile on his face. He says, hey, guys, so we're beat one time. They got the big play. We got the leg drive. Our linemen are going to come out and eat you up.
Well, James Jackson coming up with a huge pass. First touchdown reception of the year for him. 9th TD pass for Freddie Pierce. This to put them in front here. And the kick is up, and the kick is no good. Doing the kicking, a young man from Africa, from West Africa, Jiha Batriori. A little guy at 5'2", 125 pounds, a soccer player.
You can see his size right there, and Jiha's a little upset with himself because I've seen him kick before, Barry. He can put the ball through. It's like somebody upstairs is looking down saying, hey, we had a tie the first game, we want another tie this game. Let's keep this game really close. Missed extra points will come back and haunt you at some point during the game. Take a look right here. Russ Sellon concerned on the sideline. Pierce takes the high snap, sets up, lets the ball go. You can see Sirigliano was beat right from the beginning. Ball bounces up in the air. Great concentration by James Jackson to bring it back in. But I really don't know what Sirigliano was. Probably in a zone defense at that point. Able to bring it down. That was
good
cover 3 defense. Just wasn't able to get there from center field position.
And Jackson coming up with the touchdown pass. And today's championship football game is being brought to you by Canon USA, by Chase Manhattan Bank, by Genovese, we'll take good care of you, by Bob Stores, by Elite Sports Medicine and Rehab in Ronkonkoma, and of course by Cablevision. Barry Landers, Tom Howard, Jimmy Cavallo here at Hofstra Stadium, and a big crowd on hand for this Class 1 championship, tied at 6. Gomez kicking it out of bounds, and the cheerleaders have to run for cover on the far side.
Well, Barry, you can't afford to give Patchogue Medford great field position like that. They're going to take over the ball on the 35-yard line, and that's great field position for them. Because once Bobby Scanoni crosses the 50, he's in 4-down territory.
Well, each team has thrown a touchdown pass. It was Sirigliano to Bowler, an 8-yarder, to put Patchogue Medford in front early, 6-0. And then James Jackson on the receiving end of a 52-yard touchdown pass from Freddie Pierce to tie it at 6.
And we see the crowd here at Hofstra Stadium. They've come out big for this Class 1 conference, Class A conference championship right now. Nice job. Patchogue Medford bringing their fans in. Freeport on the other side. Pack stands also.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Work out of the I formation. Murphy and Funaro are the running backs. And this time it is Murphy off the right side, and he is wrapped up. I'll tell you, the last few times that Freeport defense has been outstanding. Robert Ely, the linebacker, got in on that play to break it up.
Freeport has, everybody talked about Patchogue Medford, their size, their strength. Freeport has a big physical team. And when they're good, Barry, they're very, very good. And when they're bad, they can be bad too. But they haven't been bad too often this year. Had a great game against Farmingdale. The one they lost, they had a great football game that day.
Trying to repeat as champs. They beat Uniondale last year, 21-6. Uniondale struggled this year in a great Conference 1 battle. And there were a lot of parity this year in Conference 1, Tom.
It certainly was. I mean, right down the line, every single team could knock the other one off.
Massapequa, Baldwin, Freeport. Inside handoff to Murphy. And he is stopped by Steve Ramirez, number 61. 6'1", 260-pounder. Honorable mention All-County, 2-year starter. And he makes the stop, so it'll set up 3rd and 6. Good job again by the Freeport defense. You forced Patchogue 2 downs and 4 yards.
What you want to do if you're a Freeport defense is put Patchogue in the 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 6 situations because they're not used to passing. They may have to start passing, and one of the guys you got to watch is the wingback Derek Rossi when they get into that set.
Greg Murphy with a few fans on the far side with the support. On 3rd down, they'll go to Finaro's got blockers. Finaro has the first down and driven down by Donovan Noble. Not before he picked up big yardage crossing midfield for a first down.
Yes, Bobby Scanoni, what do you do on 3rd and 6? I run the buck sweep. You know what I do? I block down with Rossi off the corner. I pull my 2 big guards, Orlandi and Kalmeyer out. I let them lead the way. I fake Murphy up the middle. I have Freeport bite on that, and I let Finaro run outside for about 12 yards.
Well, Finaro has that ability with that great burst of speed. We talked about it earlier. He combines both speed and power, and that's what you want in a great running back.
Well, he does, and most people average 3, 3.5, maybe 4 yards a carry. He averages 6.9 yards every single time he touches the ball.
A lot of people feel he'll be the Hanson Award winner in Suffolk County. Goes to the best Suffolk County football player. Murphy, another candidate for that job. Great second effort by Murphy. And no hole, he still picks up about 6 or 7. Let's go to Jimmy Cavallo.
You know, Barry, you're talking about Mike Finaro as a possible Hanson Award winner. And when you talk to Patchogue Medford head coach Bob Scanoni, he says, you know, this is a different kind of player. It's not a guy who, as a sophomore, you saw the ability, you said, this guy's going to be big time. As a junior, it's been a steady progression. And Mike Finaro, as a senior, 1,700 yards, has really established himself as one of the best around. Back upstairs.
And already, Tom, 70 yards on 6 carries tonight.
He's done a great job, and they have other guys in the backfield. That's the amazing thing with Rossi and Murphy back there.
He'll get the call again. Stood up, gang tackled. Eddie Bryant was the first guy to wrap him up, number 58, the 5'11", 220-pound senior. And that will just about bring us closing minute of the first quarter, and this first quarter coverage has been brought to you by American Refuel.
You know, Barry, one of the things that wears a defense down, and a lot of these guys for Freeport play on offense too, is a big offensive line that keeps on running the ball. You pounding play after play. You see Russ Allen right there. Get in there. Fire in there, he's telling his troops. He's saying, hey, we can't sit back. If we sit back, they're going to drive us off. We have to do something to mix it up. I said before, they brought that 7-man, that 8-man front. That slows things down, but they have to be careful that Finaro doesn't bust it to the outside because he's not just a powerful runner. 4.6 speed. He can break it if he has to.
Well, they've got some size. They've got, people like Monroe at 245, Ramirez at 260, Eddie Bryant at 220 on the front line, along with Terry Brown at 205. So it's not a small Freeport.
Oh, no, not at all. Look at the linebacking crew at 205, 230, and 260. I mean, there's 3 linebackers who can fly and obey.
As you saw, first down. It'll be at the 38-yard line. Patchogue Medford leading early. They're now tied at 6 apiece. As you see, first down, Patchogue Med with the edge of 2. Rossi lines up as a wing to the nearest side, number 88. Again, they'll stay on the ground. Funaro tripped up as he bangs his way from the 38 to around the 34, 33-yard line. Steve Ramirez on the tackle. That should about wind down the first quarter. What are your thoughts, Tom, quickly?
Well, I just think that Patchogue Medford is doing what they came in. The game plan is there. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. They're driving the ball down Freeport's throat. Freeport has to make some kind of adjustment defensively.
That's the end of the first quarter. All tied at 6 in the Class 1 championship. Barry Landers, Tom Howard. We'll be right back on Cablevision's LISN. Welcome back to beautiful Hofstra Stadium. We head to the second quarter of the Class 1 showdown between Freeport and Patchogue Medford, tied at 6.
And Barry, very similar to the game last year when Patchogue Medford and the Uniondale team were tied at 6. Halftime, they make an adjustment, and all of a sudden Patchogue comes out and just rams the ball down their mouth. I think right now Freeport has to start making some adjustments.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 5 at the 33-yard line for Pat Med. Red Raiders trying to go 11-0. And led by quarterback Mike Sirigliano. They've got a second down. They'll hand off to Rossi. Coming around, Rossi at the 30, driven back. And a pileup right there. A lot of guys banging him right there as he stopped after pickup. Donovan Noble and Eduardo Gomez.
And that's just the Delaware wing T counter crisscross right there. They're coming back with a counter crisscross, trying to pick up some yardage. And we're joined here with Nick Schroeder. And Nick, you've seen this Patchogue team before. What are your thoughts?
Tom, and over the last couple of years I've really watched them, and they've really matured as a football team. Finaro is just fantastic this year, but I think people forget that they have Murphy, and this new quarterback, Sirigliano, has stepped right in where Mike Martin left off, and he can throw the football also, and right now you see that Freeport's crowding them. I expect to see them throw the ball. They've thrown for a lot of scores this year. People forget that.
Murphy will pick up the first down on 3rd and 2 as he bangs inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Of course, Sachem was the last team to beat them early last year, and they have played very well. Patchogue has won 18 straight since then.
Yeah, and they pretty much dominated Division I, which is a very tough division. Yep. Sachem gave them a real battle in the semifinals, but and Brentwood did a nice job for a half. But what happens is that Patchogue wears on you. You have to tackle Finaro. You have to tackle him 10, 20 times in the first half, and then somebody else is going to make a big play.
And you've got to gang tackle him. One guy doesn't generally bring these guys down, Tom.
Without a doubt, you certainly do. And you're going to see right now, Freeport's putting a lot of guys in the box, but if they break it, they could be gone.
Finaro won't get away, spun down by Terry Brown, number 57.
And we saw Russ Selling earlier saying, guys, you got to put pressure on. Well, they're starting to get some guys off the ball and into the backfield, and maybe that's what you have to do. But Nick, you know, when you start blitzing, you start gambling. When you gamble, big things can happen against you.
When you start blitzing, and Finaro has the ability to wind it back and catch somebody out of position, and you know when you're blitzing, you're usually playing man-to-man in the secondary, and somebody can get freed up.
Take a look right now. You're going to see Finaro. He just gets smothered onto. You see Terry Brown, number 57 right there. Great wrestler out of Freeport High School.
You saw the strong hands there to bring down a tough back. Time you do that to Murphy, a loss of 5. Sirigliano throwing near side. It is going to be complete to Finaro at the 24-25-yard line. Not much of a gain there. It'll be about a gain of about 5 on the play.
But you see Finaro out in the slot, and he's able to catch the ball. I mean, they can put him all over. And Nick, you've seen some great athletes this year. Hanson Award in Suffolk County to the best football player. What do you think?
I think the top 3 players, in my opinion, haven't seen a lot of people on film. I think Finaro obviously is a good one. I think Derek Rossi from the defensive side of the ball is one person that jumps off film at you. He's just an incredible defensive force for Patchogue. And then I also think Griffin from Bellport, who had a good game last night, is a fine football player. So those 3 are my top 3 choices. Who the winner is, we don't know yet.
How about Barry Baker, gentlemen?
Barry Baker's a good one in North Babylon. I don't know who's better.
He's only a junior sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's only a junior, and I don't know who's better, Baker or Smart. They're both terrific ball players.
We're going to take a look one more time at that last play. You're going to watch Sirigliano drop back. He has the protection in his line. It's a 3-step drop. Puts the ball out. Finaro does a good job of going up for it, but good job there by the Freeport defense.
You know, Tom, a lot of times they'll split Finaro out there. Now you have Derek Rossi out there, Finaro to this side. Those are hard people to tackle one-on-one. So you've got little cornerbacks out there covering those big people.
3 wide receivers here. And they go to Murphy. Murphy will not pick up the first down. Stopped at the 20, had to get to the 15.
You know, Barry, we talk a lot about Finaro. We talk about Derek Rossi. Greg Murphy is one of the best football players on that team. You talk to Bobby Scanoni about Greg Murphy. Bobby Scanoni calls him Murph Dog. He says, hey, Murph Dog, at the beginning of the year, he says, what kind of man would it take to tackle you? Knock you down, you know? He said, a bad man, Coach. You'd take a bad man. And he started walking away. Well, at that point, all of a sudden, Coach Scanoni says, hey, Murph, tuck your shirt in, you know? Because he was like, you know, you sloppy. He says, Coach, are we here to play football or are we here to take pictures? That's the type of kid Murph is.
He's a great kid. And again, Finaro will get stopped, and Murphy will break a simple play for a touchdown. That's
all right, 4th and 5, Nick. Play action fakes Sirigliano in trouble. Avoids the sack and throws for the end zone. It's going to be picked off. Ely, number 6, with the interception. Flag on the play. Ely trying to turn outside at the 20 and goes down, hit by Finaro. But let's see if they'll bring it back, flag after the interception.
Well, unfortunately, the flag's in the 11. Usually that's going to be either blocking below the waist or maybe a clip, which means the ball will probably be spiraling to the 6. Do they dodge the ball? Absolutely. Ely comes down with the interception, so Patchogue doesn't score, but now Freeport takes over in poor field position. If you watch on that last play, you're going to see Sirigliano give a leg and take it. He does a nice job of getting to the outside. But once he gets out there, he should square his shoulders, set up, and deliver the ball. He kept on running and unfortunately threw off balance. Watch right here. He gets to the outside, a little pressure. And watch him give the leg, take the leg. Now, he has some pressure, so square your shoulders and don't throw backwards. He's throwing back. Stop, square, and fire coming downhill. He didn't square his shoulders, try to throw back across the grain. It's really tough to do.
And from an old wing T guy like you should know that technique very well.
Well, we always got to the corner. We never let our guys to pass the ball, though. You get out there and then you run.
I know that. I played against you a few times.
4th interception for Robert Ely. 17th by the Freeport defense this year.
Well, you know, Bobby Scanoni's probably kicking himself in the tail because he doesn't like to throw the ball. Even though he throws it well because they don't throw that often, he doesn't. He has the same philosophy I have. You put the ball up, 2 out of 3 things are bad. I think it's 6 out of 10 things are bad. Whatever, there's always bad when you put that ball in the air.
Freeport put it up once, and 1 out of 1 was good for them.
From the eye, they'll work it here, and they go to the running back right here, Gomez, who took it out of the eye. And Murphy stopped them. Interesting, they went from the run and shoot to the eye, and Gomez behind Clifton Smith banged it out.
Well, occasionally that's what they do, Barry. They'll take Gomez and they'll move him into the backfield in the eye. Then they'll take him the next play and they'll move him back out into a slot. He'll go out with slot on one side. He'll go out there with Warren and Gomez, and they'll put on the other side Huggins and Donovan Noble. And then they'll come back and they'll get into an eye formation and just have 3 wideouts.
8 minutes to go. First half, tied at 6. Patchogue Medford took the lead on an 8-yard touchdown pass and then a 52-yard TD pass. Tied it. Both teams missed the extra point. Again, working out of the eye. Gomez is the tailback. Smith the fullback. Wide receivers to the right and left. Here's Smith. Trying to turn outside. Rossi got a piece of him. Now he's driven down. Greg Murphy with a great tackle. He wouldn't let Smith get away.
The Murph dog comes up big on that one. I mean, Nick, you talk about football's 2 things, blocking and tackling. Watch the tackle right here. I mean, he gets into the guy, just lifts him and drives him.
One of the things that's really outstanding about Patchogue, they don't miss tackles, Tom. They square up. They have good tackling form. You see Rossi chasing it down, and here comes Murphy. There he is, squared up, head to the ball side.
Sure.
Look at that. Legs going, driving,
does it just like
hanging
he's taught. He hangs on until more help comes.
Yep.
The cavalry comes in, knocks him down, and he's set. And that's Bobby Scanoni, who's a disciple of South Champion from East Islip, who's the basic football man. I mean, blocking and tackling.
No question. And when the going gets tough, that's what wins ball games for you.
Is the broom ready, Nick? Is former Suffolk County football chairman?
He gave me a broom when they swept us the 2nd year. This year we're thinking of getting a shovel.
Gomez in trouble, gentlemen. Murphy buries him back at the 5-yard line.
And this is the danger I was mentioning before, Barry. The danger of getting, even though you got the interception, if you can't get out of the hole, Patchogue's getting the ball back inside the 30, coming back at you.
So it'll be a punting situation here, and it's going to be tough for the punter here. Angel Gomez, he'll kick from deep in the end zone. Do you think they'll try for a block here, Tom?
Well, I think Patchogue, no, I don't think they'll go to block. I think what they're going to do is set up a return at this point right now. But what they're going to do is they're going to pop some people to hold it up, and they're going to get Finaro back there.
Gomez kicking high kick. They'll get good coverage here, but they need a bounce, and it bounces the other way, down at around the 27-yard line, only a 19-yard kick.
So they don't take advantage right there, Nick, of what they did. They got the ball, but because of the clip number 1 and they're not getting out of the hole, they give Patchogue the ball back right where they gave it up.
And the poor punt. This is playing right into Patchogue's game plan. Patchogue is a ball control football team. They're going to run their power stuff right now, and this could be dangerous for Freeport.
All right, let's take a look at the Class 1 championship starting back in 1992. Connecticut bombed your Farmingdale team behind Chad Bosch.
Thanks, man.
93, Massapequa edged Longwood. Massapequa in a great one over Connecticut in 94. Then it was Lawrence over Sachem. Patchogue winning last year over Uniondale.
And we have a big question mark for 97. And the game right now is 6-6 is a question mark.
They'll stay on the ground. Funaro with a great burst, great leg drive to about the 15 to 12-yard gain for Mike Funaro before Eduardo Gomez and Donovan Noble, a couple of cornerbacks, and the safety stopped him.
I think the key thing, you know, have backs like Finaro and Murphy. You've got to give credit to those people up front. They are an outstanding offensive line. They're down there in that 4-point stance out of East Islip. They're going straight ahead. They are a great offensive line. I have never seen a more physical football team in Division I.
And you have Cardone, Kalmeyer, Warrensoff, Orlandi, and Catapano. Watch right here. We'll take a look at them getting off.
First and 10 at the 15-yard line. Murphy behind the block of the center. Luke Warrensoff stopped by Eddie Bryant and Terry Brown. And only about a yard or 2 on that one.
And I'll tell you, a lot of times what Bobby Scanoni likes to do is he gets double tight. He goes behind Bowler and Robinson as the 2 tight ends, and then takes Derek Rossi and puts him on the corner, and he can crush you coming off the corner. So, again, running a little wing action, Nick, they get the fake to the fullback up the middle. You got to bite on that, and then they can take a sweep, 2 guards pulling. They have a crackdown block by Rossi, and they have a guy like Finaro going outside.
Absolutely, and they're in that formation right now, Tom, and I could almost bet that this is going to be their 27
buck sweep.
And here it
Second and
comes.
9, and turning in the corner, stumbling. Funaro, he got tripped up by Gideon Huggins. Got enough of him to make him lose his balance, but he still was able to fall forward to around the 7-yard line.
Okay, and again, we talked about that line surge, and really when you get to championship games, right here in the trenches is what wins it. And take a look at Rossi. Look at Rossi, and I tell you, unfortunately, Rossi slid off his blocks, and then they had to use one of the guards. Mike Orlandi, number 50, had to get in there. If Rossi would have kept that, and that's when you want to establish that corner, Orlandi can get around Rossi, drive down and hit somebody, it would have been a touchdown.
All right, 3rd and 2, gentlemen, at the 7-yard line. 4.5 to go, tied at 6 first half. Funaro off the right side. Funaro takes a tackler to the 2-yard line with his string. Donovan Noble and Robert Ely try to wrap him up, and finally it was James Jackson at the 2.
So Nick, I guess I got a question here. It's going to be 1st and goal. The ball's going to be on the 2. As coach of Freeport, I mean, what do you tell you guys right now when they're driving down like that? You say, hey, let's let them get it quick. Don't even hit right now. Let them in the end zone so we can come back and try to get a score in 10 seconds.
I'll tell you, so running the run and shoot, sometimes you don't want to be on defense that long. But I think what they're going to do is try to get in the gaps and just attack right now and try to keep people, try to get some penetration. They better do something because they're in a power eye. They're going to follow Rossi in here.
1st and goal, and Funaro off the right side. Great second effort, he's in.
2nd and 3rd effort there, Barry. He made the 2nd effort on about the 1-yard line. He made the 3rd effort on the goal line to get in. Touchdown, Patchogue.
32nd touchdown of the year. They talk about Barry Baker being the touchdown maker. Mike Funaro now with 32 TDs.
You know, we talked before about the possibility of the Hanson Award. You have 2 guys out of the top 3. You're saying 2 guys are on the same team, which is a great possibility. I mean, you have a guy who can play offense and defense in Rossi, even though Funaro does, and a guy who scored 31 touchdowns in the backfield, and you see his leg drive right there.
Yeah, he's a great player, but I think it's also important to realize that he's running behind Rossi all the time. I mean, one of the reasons that Patchogue's successful is really, you can tell what plays they're running. Just look where number 88 is and run the play.
They remind me of a hurricane. You know it's coming, but there's no way to stop it.
Here it is, trying to stop this.
Take a look one more time. You know Rossi's coming at you. Here he comes. Bam. Bam, and then one more.
His legs still driving.
Exactly. You know, and that's what Freeport has to do. They have to get their guys to get low. You have to tackle low when you have guys with big legs like that. Hit, lock, and bring them down.
Our 2nd quarter coverage of tonight's Class 1 championship football game is being brought to you in part by King Cullen. And hope you're enjoying the action. Patchogue Medford called a timeout to discuss their extra point plans.
And well, they should, because extra point is key right here. They have to get the 2-point extra point. I'm sure they're going for it. They know when Freeport comes back, they're going to go for the 2, so they have to make sure they get this extra point right now. It's a key extra point. Bobby Scaroni out talking to his troops.
Patchogue Medford averaged 39 points a game this year, gave up under 5 times. That's the margin, as Nick Schroeder was talking about, how they blitzed everybody except Sachem in the last game of the regular season.
Yeah, Sachem was really their only close ball game. Fred Fusaro did a great job preparing for them and played almost a flawless football game. But they pretty much had their way with everybody in Division I. And there were some good teams in Division I. Brentwood was an outstanding team. And as you know, Division I football is the bigger, tougher kids. Not tougher necessarily, but at least the bigger
Just
schools.
physical,
Like
right.
More depth.
When you have
more
2,000, 3,000, or 6,000 like Sachem has in high school, you know you have some big kids there.
All right, they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. Murphy, Funaro in the backfield with Rossi as a wing on the right side. And they'll go to Funaro. Funaro stumbles. He ran into number 50, Mike Orlandi, the all-county left guard.
And Barry, I'm a little concerned about the call right there. I mean, Bobby Scaroni knows what he's doing, believe me. But, all they're doing is trying that buck sweep on the goal line. There's some penetration in there. And, at that point, maybe you get right back to that power line. You go right behind Rossi and just sort of power it off tackle. Nothing fancy, nothing, just basic football.
Yeah, no question about it. I think it's very important to realize that today, if had some extra points been made in the game prior to this, we might not have had an overtime, and here we are again, Tom, 12-6, and no extra points made at this point.
Of course, Pablin made a great comeback, down 12-0 against Roosevelt to win in overtime.
And you take a look there at Bobby Scaroni. I think they're the keys to victory. He holds on to those keys. Every game Bobby Scaroni goes walking around, he keeps the keys in his hand.
Gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying all the action, folks. We're delighted to have Nick Schroeder joining us. Nick, you and Bill Piner were guys as the football coordinators of Suffolk, you of Suffolk, Bill of Nassau, that have worked so hard to bring these Long Island football championships into reality from just a dream. And I know when you look at a crowd like we've had tonight and the way things have gone, you must be real pleased.
Yeah, it's really great to think, Bill and I did a lot of flying around the state of New York to try to get this thing passed and to get the votes that we needed to get it going, and what it's become. The Patchogue crowd and the Freeport crowd are just testaments that these games have really become a big thing, and really things that people look for who are really football fans.
And it's great for Long Island football. Unfortunately, this year you want to see a Suffolk County playoff because there's 3 great teams out there.
Jackson on the return stood up and will be knocked back by Bowler. So So Bowler, who caught the touchdown pass earlier, makes a defensive play here. He's another one of those all-county players. It's incredible how many all-county players that Patchogue has this year. Well, he's got about 6.
Especially coming from, from League One. I mean, that conference is such a packed conference with the Sachems out there. And this year, great run by Center Reach. I mean, they had a great year this year. Comac came back up in it again. And you had the Brentwood teams. I mean, just a real good conference. And they had like 6 guys that made all-county.
It's an outstanding conference. You have Longwood, who's a great football team with Mark Riley, and they don't even make the playoffs in Division I. And that was really a testament to the other teams who've really done a great job improving their program.
Here's to throw on 1st and 10 from the 33, now scrambling, trying to get to the 40, and they'll be down at around the 38-yard line.
That's Rossi who came up and made the hit. And again, Pierce gets to the corner, squares his shoulders, does what you want a quarterback to do. But when he decides to scramble, how about Derek Rossi scraping along and coming up, double on the leg, locks him and brings him down.
If you take a look at Derek Rossi, he plays, Tom, at a depth of about 7 yards. He's really a freed-up linebacker. They'll cover the offensive lineman on that side, and Derek really is allowed to roam. And he's really better running sideline to sideline. He's a great player straight ahead, but watch him when the ball goes away from him.
He looks like a pro-strong safety with his size, his ability, and his speed.
Terrific player.
Noble and Jackson line up at the bottom of your screen in this 3 wide receiver set, working at an offshoot eye. Here's the pitch coming right now to Gomez. Gomez at the 40, got speed and driven out of bounds as he picks up the first down, driven out by Mike Funaro, but not before he picked up the first down.
And Barry, I'm really surprised at Murphy that time because Murph came up and he went to the inside. He let him get that outside. You have to turn it back in. You have a great defensive team. You have 10 men coming on pursuit from that side. And what does he do? He lowers his wrong shoulder, lowers his right shoulder and comes in here. And watch, right there Gomez goes to the outside. Murph made a mistake on that play.
Yeah, Murph's banging himself in the head right now. He's a great defensive back. He does a terrific job back there. Also, Finaro's a great defensive back. They don't miss many tackles and they don't take on blocks with the wrong shoulder too many times.
Well, let's give them a little break. They've been on offense just banging away now. They may be a little tired on defense.
Again, Freeport working out of the eye. Again, the pitch to Gomez behind Smith. 4.6 speed Gomez has. And he bangs about 7 yards to the 45-yard line before he's brought down after picking up good yardage on the play. It'll be 2nd down then coming up.
And Nick, if you look at the tape during the week, if you're looking at the tape of Freeport, you're getting ready for the run and shoot. They're getting back into their side, which they don't run that often. And I'm sure Patchogue, even though they know how to defend it, is not looking for this as much as they're looking for the 4 wideouts, which they're going to right now.
Gomez is really a good kid, and they use him in a dual capacity, both in the eye and now as a wideout.
He's an excellent receiver, Nick, as well. He's caught 15 passes this year. Pierce with time, looking deep downfield. He's got Giddens out there. And it's a touchdown!
Is this an amazing game, Barry? We said it. They came back in less than a minute. They scored. It's been less than 1 minute since Patchogue. Patchogue will use 8 minutes to score. These guys will use 10 seconds to score. But the key comes back to extra point play. You can't make mistakes in extra point. And right now, Freeport has the ability. I mean, they have this kid. He's not a bad kicker, the kid from West Islip. He's not a bad kicker at all. Let's see if they're going to go for the 1 just to try to get it, or whether they're going to go back and try to get the 2, because at some point, Patchogue is going to keep making their 2s. That's what they do.
Yeah, this is power football against the run and shoot. The run and shoot is quick scoring. You're not on the field a long time. You don't want to be on the field a long time. You want to score quickly and then hopefully get the ball away from them. They better play better defensively because Patchogue can control the time.
They're going to go for the 2-point conversion. Noble lines up behind the quarterback. Back to throw Pierce. He's in trouble and throws it, and it'll be incomplete.
Well,
Mike Orlandi.
That was a busted play from the beginning, Barry. I mean, there just was nothing there. No fake, nothing to freeze linebackers. He just dropped. He rolled back out to a side where there's no. You have one back in the backfield. You have to have protection. You have to go to the side your fullback is going to. I mean, people were in his face from the beginning.
What a pass, though, however, thrown by Pierce to Gideon Huggins, who didn't play last year. Great speed, got behind the defender.
Now watch, again, he comes back to his fullback side, he sets up, he looks back to the weak side, lets the ball go, and look at that pass. I mean, that's a pro pass. On the money, full stride, pulls it in, scoots inside the flag, touchdown.
Beat Murphy on that play.
Beat him good, too. I mean, that's 8 yards he hasn't beat by.
Gideon Huggins with his 5th touchdown reception of the year. He's caught 12 passes, for 300 yards, Tom.
Tremendous. And actually here again, one team taking the ball, driving down off the big offensive line, the other team striking real quick. In Suffolk County this year, Nick, 3 teams that were undefeated at the end of the year, they already have the Rutgers Trophy voting in, I believe, at this point, so they're sitting in somebody's hands.
Right.
Obviously, it has nothing to do with this, but as a coach, as a former coach, how would you go about trying to pick what team you'd vote for the Rutgers Trophy?
I got to tell you, Tom, and I'm not trying to get out of this one. It's very tough, having seen all 3 of the teams that I would vote for right here. Patchogue's an excellent team. I've seen them a lot this year. Obviously, they're from our division, so I think they're a terrific team. I was really impressed with North Babylon. They were just overpowering, and of course, that was the best Bellport team I think I've seen in 20 years.
I agree with you on that. This is Joe's best team ever.
Funaro to the 20, 25, 30, and takes a tackler across the 35 to the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 with 2:05 to go in a 12-12 first half.
And there's a Freeport player down on the field right now, Barry, and the question is, with 2:05 to go and the offense that Bobby Scanoni runs, you can see down on the field right now, you see that's number 51, who is Alamakar Ramirez.
He's one of the starters on the offensive line. 5'10", 200-pound senior, 2-year varsity player at center. Not overly strong, but a real tenacious kid who'll claw and do anything. You'd love to have those kind of kids on your team.
Right.
Let's see what happens. See if we can pick it up.
You can see right here, he's coming in to make the hit, and you see right there, he goes, he just twists. It just looks like he gets a little twist on his ankle. If not, it just runs over people. I mean, you can't take a guy on trying to hit him and going backwards. He's just going to run. You get hurt doing that, Nick.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, you play Patchogue, you not only play that ball game, but you feel the effects of it for a couple of weeks.
All right, gentlemen, let's review what's happened here tonight. Patchogue Medford took the early lead on a surprise passing play. Mike Sirigliano teaming up with the tight end Chris Mola on an 8-yard TD pass. Conversion failed. That capped a 7-play, 73-yard drive. Then Freeport came back, 4 plays, 67 yards. They struck through the air as it was Pierce teaming up with Jackson on a 52-yard TD pass. After Funaro scored on a 2-yard run for Patchogue Medford to make it a 12-6 game on a 5-play, 27-yard drive. Huggins on the receiving end of a 46-yard pass from Pierce, and we're all deadlocked at 12 with all the extra points missed by everybody so far. And today's championship football game is being brought to you by Canon USA. By Chase Manhattan Bank, the right decision is everything. By Genovese. By Bob Stores. By Elite Sports Medicine and Rehab with Dr. Frank Segretto. And, of course, by Cablevision. Well, the player who was shaken up, going off on the far side, and apparently Alamakar Ramirez is okay.
Well, I think he got up and he started walking towards the end zone, Barry. I think he was a little woozy. It may not have been a knee or an ankle, things we usually think it is. He might have gotten a good smack in the head.
Sirigliano will stay on the ground for Funaro, who is over 100 yards now as he gets to the 40-yard line. Here's a guy who averaged, you look at it, he had 1,700 yards on 10 games. He averaged 170 yards a game, this young man.
Well, you know, Bobby Scaroni has a choice right now. He can either try to put the ball in the air, which he doesn't do too well, or he can go down the field, and he's the type of guy who can get down the field real quick with Funaro, Murphy, those guys in the backfield, even running the ball.
Well, Sirigliano 2 for 3 for 15 yards. Stay on the ground again to Funaro with 1:30 to go, and driven down by Donovan Noble and Robert Ely.
You know what? I think you're going to see Bobby put Funaro out wide. I think he's going to go twins to the wide side of the field and get number 44 and Murphy back there. What he's done a lot of times is he spreads people, putting Rossi and Funaro out wide, and then gives the ball to Murphy inside.
One of the concerns he has on this 3rd and 4th play, though, is if he doesn't pick up the first down, Freeport gets the ball back and they can score quickly.
1:06 to go. Once again, Funaro slips the tackle. Won't get away from number 72, Chris Monroe. And Monroe drags him down.
If I'm Freeport, I'm using a timeout right now. I'm not letting that clock keep ticking. It's gone from 1 minute down to 54, 53. They can get the ball back. I'm very surprised they're letting that clock tick away like this.
Yeah, you want to use those timeouts on defense because you can stop the clock a number of ways on offense.
Sure, defense is where you use your timeout.
4th down, and the clock continues to tick.
They're going for the block right now. Russ is telling them they're going for the block at this point. And that might be the way to go too, Nick. You know, you let the clock go down. We're going all out for the block. If we don't get the block, Bobby's smart. He says, I'm going to take a 5-yard
Yeah, but
penalty.
when you've got the passing ability that this team has, Freeport, you want the ball back because you can strike from anywhere in the field.
I agree with you.
I
But
think
for some reason, Russ decided he's going for the block. They're going to call a timeout. They'll let it go down. They won't even take the 5-yard penalty. They'll go down. They may even go for a fourth. They're the type. I don't think it's a smart move at all. But Bobby's known as the type of guy who says, hey, you're not getting the ball back from me. I'm going to go 4th and 2 and run right over.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised at all. Bobby's probably out there right now saying, hey, look, we're going to go for it. We're going to get it. We're not going to put the ball. We're not going to take a chance here and getting something blocked. Sure. And there's 20 seconds left. If you play defense for a couple of plays, you'll be all right if you don't make it. But let's see. This would be kind of risky for him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to turn over the ball inside my own 50-yard line. I don't care what time is left in the game.
Well, take a look at what's happened earlier in this Long Island Football Championship. It's been all Suffolk. Class 2, Bellport with a huge victory over Lawrence. So we saw some great Bellport players in that game. North Babylon crushing Clark 50-0. And earlier today, of course, it was Babylon coming from behind in overtime to beat Roosevelt 18-12.
3 great Suffolk games.
Yeah, no question about it. I really thought the courage shown by Babylon today. At one point, I really felt they were out of that ball game.
Well, they
Those
were
kids
going
just
down.
played football all day long and stayed and played 4 quarters of tough football.
Typical Babylon football, though. The type of kids that get blood on their face, they get harder and tougher and more physical. They were down 12-0, and at that point, Roosevelt was going in to score, and that's when their quarterback got injured. Blaylock got injured, and from there on in, it was all Babylon. The momentum just kicked back over.
Well, the big play by the big tackle,
Jerry Williams,
when he ran into Pettis and he caused that
fumble and recovered the fumble after that.
All right, they'll punt here. Funaro to do the punting. They have one man back deep, and that is Eduardo Gomez. Funaro sails this one. Gomez will watch this one bounce out of bounds at around the 31-yard line. 24-yard kick, 14 seconds left. And of course they have 3 timeouts, but they didn't use any of them.
Yeah, but you know, one of the things, and exactly, they let the clock tick. It was 1 minute when they could have called timeout before. They let the thing tick down to 14 seconds. One of the things you want to do when you're playing pass defense is put pressure on quarterbacks, Nick. And I think right now may be the time that Patchogue, they may go man-to-man in the back, but I wouldn't give the quarterback any time to set up. There may be 7 or 8 men in his face.
But based on what they did on the not calling timeout, they maybe just take a knee here, just finish the half and say, hey, we're 12-12 with
and that's
Patrick.
exactly what they're going to do. Look how far back Smith is. They're taking the Russ is happy with the 12-12 tie. Let's go in the locker room. And you're absolutely right, Barry. That was his game plan, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though we weren't thinking that, that was his game plan.
I'll tell you what, you have to give Freeport a lot of credit. This is a big physical football team. They feel good holding them to 12 points at the half. They've got to feel, hey, we didn't think we'd be here right now. Let's go in right now and then take this 12-12 tie and take our chances in the
Nick
second.
Shorter, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks for all what you've done for Long Island football. Let's go to Jimmy Cavallo down on the field.
All right, and standing by with head coach Bob Sconey, Patchogue, Medford. And Bob, you look up at the scoreboard, 12-all, but once again, 2 big plays. You've seen this once before against Sachem. How do you talk to you guys about them getting behind the secondary?
Well, I just tell them that we got to try to keep wearing on them because they have those type of kids and they do a great job coaching. And they can get behind you. That kid can throw the ball. He can scramble. And they got, Tip over there, got a big break on that one. But, those things happen. Hopefully this half will stop them and we can get a couple scores.
You guys try to wear people down as the game goes on. Is that going to be your game plan? Stick with that mindset?
Yeah, we don't want to get away from that. Now, of course, if they come out and spring a couple scores on us, things can happen. But hopefully we'll stop them and we'll wear them down.
Okay, Coach, get in there and make adjustments. Bob Sconey and Patchogue Medford all locked up. 12-12 Freeport. We are just getting underway here at halftime. We'll take a quick break here in this Class 1 final. Halftime is straight ahead. You're watching the Long Island Football Championships right here on LISN. Back at halftime at Hofstra, your score all tied up at 12-12. Patchogue, Medford, and Freeport, a clash of styles going at it. We are joined at halftime here by West Islip head coach Wayne Strunk, the last 28 years. Good to see you, Wayne.
Nice to see you too, Jim. Former head coach.
Former head coach, absolutely. When you look at this ball game right now, really the classic contrast of styles. The grinded out team of Patchogue Medford against the big play team of Freeport, and that's the way it's been true to form.
Yeah, Patchogue's been great all year. I really haven't seen them play much, but from what I understand, they've got that great ball control offense. They're very patient. Funaro is an outstanding runner. Murphy is the blocker. Great offensive line, and as you say, in the contrast with Freeport, just 4 wide, stretch you, and have the ability to throw the ball.
When you look at the environment here with these Long Island championships, really electric. 5,000 plus people here coming from Suffolk and Nassau. Who's number one? You were here in '93, came up with a loss to Garden City, came right back in '94 and earned it. One of the all-time classic games here, late overtime game. You remember a lot from that one?
Yeah, I do, Jim. In fact, watching a Babylon game this afternoon with their overtime win, it brought back a lot of memories. But it's a great opportunity, I think, for any school to be here. It's grown. It's one of the best things I think that's ever happened to Long Island football.
You know, when you look when this thing started up in 1992, Nassau kind of jumped out fast, but here comes Suffolk down the back stretch the last couple of years. They're really on a roll. 3 out of 4 last year, took the first 3 this year.
Yeah, we, I guess going into this matchup, we're 11-9, and we're tied up going into this afternoon's game, 11 up. So hopefully we come out 2 ahead tonight.
How about some of your Suffolk counterparts? You saw Belport and Joseph really rolled along with North Babylon on Friday night.
Yeah, North Babylon was just methodical. They ran their offense, had 2 great backs, and Smart and Baker did an outstanding job, and they played great defense and pressure. Thought Belport, right before the half, the 2 long passes, which I guess is really uncharacteristic of what they do, was great play calling on their part. They made some, some big plays, took a 22-6 halftime lead, and then they come back in the second half. When they're able to get into their offense, they're very, very tough to beat.
And just when Nassau looked like they were about to break through at Roosevelt today, up 12-0, seemingly cruising along. The quarterback gets a little banged up. Just give Babylon an inch, they took a foot.
Well, I'll tell you, as the game went on, it just looked like Babylon was getting stronger and stronger. As you said, Roosevelt was a little beat up, especially at their key position with the quarterback. But what a great finish, and a lot to be said for those Babylon kids and Hans Weidecker and his staff. They did a great job, and it was a great comeback to win that in overtime.
All right, that's Wayne Sharon, former West Islip coach, 28 years, 1994. He took home that Rutgers trophy. Yes, sir, all the parade and fanfare. Here at halftime at Hofstra, you see your score, 12-12. We're locked up in a good one. Stick around. Barry Landers, check that. Tommy Howard's coming down. We're going to do stats and highlights. This is Cablevision's LISN. And Freeport all locked up, 12-12, in what's shaping up to be a Class 1 spectacular game. And we're joined by Tommy Howard. And Tommy, we look at this game, we knew it was a contrast in style, the power against the finesse, and it's been everything we asked for.
Well, it certainly has been. It's the freight train against the lightning bolt. It's one team that's going to plow you over, drive down the field. The other team's going to take the ball and bam, boom, they're down in the end zone before you know it.
What gives in this game? Does Freeport finally succumb to this power option game of the power game of Patchogue Medford?
Well, I think that Bobby Scanone is going to talk to his team. He made a great adjustment last year at halftime of the Uniondale game. He's talking to his team about right now a little bit of discipline, keeping the ball on the ground. But I know Russ Sellon is talking to those Freeport Red Devils, and he's saying, hey guys, we can score against this team. We got to put a couple more on the board.
As we do at halftime, we go inside the numbers. Check out the Sbarro stat page, and some of these numbers should be very telling. Check it out, Tom.
Well, I think really what it comes down to is it talks about total yardage. You look at it, Freeport with 169, Patchogue with 158. This is just pretty even. Each team had a turnover. Turnovers really don't play a big deal into the game at this point right now because they both balance each other out. Penalties are very minimum. The refs are letting the kids play the game. The kids are playing the game, and we have a great one.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. And Patchogue Medford came out first possession, and Mr. Bowler, he found himself a little opening.
Well, he certainly did. Sirigliano takes the ball, he sprints to his right, he finds Chris Bowler open in the corner of the end zone, wide open. Chris waits for the ball, comes in, up 6-0 Patchogue. Unfortunately, missed that extra point. It could come back to haunt them.
Sign of every good team, they respond. Pierce finds JJ wide open.
Jackson is in the end zone. Pierce takes the ball, and they just, nice, great. Sirigliano gets there late, but great concentration by Jackson. James Jackson able to take it in after the little bobble.
Back to the bread and butter for Patchogue. Finaro with a blast.
Well, I'll tell you, right off of Derek Rossi's block right there, you have Greg Murphy blocking. Finaro takes the ball, great leg drive into the end zone for the score, 12-6 Patchogue Medford.
Looked like that was going to be our halftime score, but up top they went Huggins to Freeport.
And again, Pierce comes back and he just throws the ball, dead run. Huggins is able to take it in, getting Huggins on the trot into the end zone, 12-12. And what about the extra points? Maybe that's the name of the game right now. Extra points, you can't miss extra point in championship games. Both teams have missed 2.
Do you expect Patchogue Medford to make the adjustments? Some receivers have gotten open there for Freeport behind the defense.
Well, I think that the speed is what's killing them. No, I don't think they'll make it. They'll say, hey, you want to know how you keep it out of Freeport's hands? We keep the ball on offense. So what we have to do right now is drive down the field, keep the ball on offense, don't give it to Freeport too often.
All right, that's the former coach Tommy Howard. He's got himself a little Rutgers hardware in the trophy case. That will conclude halftime here at Hofstra, but straight ahead, stick around. Barry Landers and Tom Howard. Can Suffolk County pull the sweep? The brooms are out and ready, but Nassau will have a say in it yet. We're coming back.
are back at Hofstra, second half moments away. Barry Landers along with Tom Howard, Jimmy Cavallo, joined by Buddy Krummenacher, Farmingdale football coach, to start our second half coverage. And the Patchogue Club will kick it away here. Freeport will get the ball. Gomez from the 12, the speedster, to the 25, and will be down at around the 28, 29-yard line. Buddy Krummenacher, quickly your evaluation of the first half.
Well, I'm certainly in favor of, I'd like to see Freeport win the football game. But I think they're in a great position to win the game simply because it's 12-12 and they haven't been to the Long Island Championship. Patchogue Med has, and I think they're in a great spot to win the game. I think they're going to run Clifton Smith a little more and mix it with the pass.
Tom, that's a good point. He brings up Smith, just 4 carries, 9 yards. You got a guy like that who can lumber and break a big play. You got to give him the ball a little more, maybe.
Yeah, he's a good hard runner, but they've also been able to put the ball up, and you see.
Here's Gomez. Going to use the speed. And down at around the 37-yard line by Derek Rossi. And let's go to Jimmy Cavallo for the moment.
You know, guys, I had a chance to speak with head coach Russ Sellon in Freeport. I said, Coach, your concerns in the first half? He said, well, you know, we're getting pushed around a little bit, and when you get into a possession game late in the fourth quarter, that can be a problem, so we have to try and make an adjustment there. The good thing, he says, my sophomore quarterback throwing big plays. He says, we're going to keep at that. We're going to keep throwing the ball up and try and knock some of these big plays off, and that'll keep us in this game. Back upstairs.
Well, you know, Barry, Buddy was mentioning before that Freddie Pierce is having a real good game. And, Buddy, you saw him twice this year, once at our place and once here at Hofstra, and he could be on, he could be off.
Yeah, I think for the most part he's on, which has made them successful through the year. I think right here you see him scrambling, throwing. He can do those things, and when he's on and he's throwing deep, he's tough to match.
He can really put the ball in there. Strong arm to get that pass to Donovan Noble. It'll be a short gain, but enough for the first down across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Dave Pontieri, the defender on the play.
Barry just saw that. He's running backwards, scrambling, throwing, going backwards, and fires the ball in. I mean, that should have been a pick at that time. Sirigliano, the sophomore, really has good position on the man, but he's able to pick it up and pick up the first down.
Take a look at the stats in the first half as far as the quarterback is concerned. For Freddie Pierce, 4 for 6, 128 yards, including those 2 touchdown bombs of 46 yards to Gideon Huggins, and also the long pass to James Jackson of 52 yards. First and 10 for the sophomore quarterback. You've got 2 sophomore quarterbacks playing in this championship game. And fumbling it, picking the ball up, however, is Clifton Smith. Oh, what a break there.
Well, they did. They caught a big break, but, you know, that really, Freddie took the ball. He never had the handle from the very beginning. He should just gone on and tried to re-pick it up. You see Bobby Scanoni right there. He's made his adjustment. Buddy, last year, you got to see the Uniondale game, I'm sure. When Patchogue Medford came out in that third quarter, they took the ball. They went for a 4th and 2 on their own 28-yard line, made it, and just kept on pounding the ball down the throat. Do you think Patchogue's made any adjustments at halftime that they haven't done in the first half from what you saw?
I don't know. I don't know what their week-to-week actions are as a football team, but I'd keep running that sweep if I were them.
That buck sweep was going pretty well, huh?
I'd certainly keep doing that.
Bernard's not a bad back.
He's a great back.
From the shotgun, a second and third down, 13. Pierce scrambling, chased by Murphy. Down the sideline, Murphy able to shove him out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. So there was pressure put on, and he's a good runner, Freddie Pierce. And he showed his ability to escape against pretty good pressure put on by Patchogue.
Well, he does. And Buddy probably can answer this better than anybody. But, you know, when we played them at home, we beat them 22-21 on a wet day. But defensively, what did you try to do against them?
Well, defensively, we tried to play him in man coverage all around the field, which on a wet day like that, we were very successful with it. But you've got to keep enough people in the box to stop Clifton Smith. And well, tonight, I think they should go to Clifton a little bit right now.
Well, you can open up your gaps a little, too. They're pretty tight on line. They don't those gaps.
Pretty tight on line of scrimmage. And,
Smith breaks through. He's gone.
I think the I formation's a great addition to their offense.
3rd and 8. And they'll stay in this I, looking to throw Pierce. Jackson to go right through his hands at the 45-yard line. One of the things they say about Freddie Pierce, he throws the ball so hard, he's got to lighten up a little bit on the touch.
Well, maybe he should take a little off that one, but I'll tell you something. Big players have to come up with big plays in big games, and James Jackson needed to catch that ball. It was there. We'll take a look one more time. You can see Freddie Pierce has time. The eye, he just gives the fake up the middle, sets back, squares the shoulders, delivers the ball on the money. There it is, and watch Jackson. That ball just goes right past his hands, and maybe he could have lightened up a little bit, Barry, but again, James Jackson needs to catch those.
First punt was 19 yards. That poor punt, remember, gave Patchogue Medford good field position that led to a score. And Gomez will be punting once again. This is Angel Gomez, the brother of Eduardo. And this one will be bouncing downfield. Jackson almost hit him. And finally down. Good field position defensively for the Freeport Red Devils as they down it deep in the territory. 28-yard kick.
Well, ironically, Barry, if I remember history correctly, last year it was a 6-6 tie halftime with Uniondale. Patchogue Medford took over. They got the ball around the 20-yard line, and they went 7 yards and 3 downs, and they went for it on 4th, or 8 yards and 3 downs, went for it on 4th and 2, and never relinquished the ball from there on and drove for 2 more TDs.
Tom, if I remember that game, I think they had the ball for almost 12 minutes to
the whole
start
third
the third quarter.
The whole third
11
quarter.
minutes and some 50 seconds.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Well, let's see if they do it here. That has been their bread and butter. They'll start right now with a 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. And they'll go on the near side. Murphy, short gain, take it to the 28-yard line. Stopped by Clifton Smith. And it's interesting right now that looks like they've made a little bit of a change, Patchogue Medford, going in the backfield with Chris Bowler right now, number 44. He is in the backfield right now. How about those guys?
Yeah,
it's warming up.
Patchogue Medford High School. I guess they're copying off of those guys down in up in Michigan on a cold December day, but it's not that on Long Island here.
They'll send Funaro out as a wide receiver. Bowler will be in the backfield with Murphy. Quick pitch to the far side to Robinson. Chris Robinson wrapped up, won't get away from the tackle of Devon Noble.
And Buddy, I'm a little concerned with that play because that's getting away. Bobby Scanoni is a bread and butter guy who just powers the ball here. Coming out of the second play to put the ball in the air is a little, a little different.
It's tough to throw the hitch against the Freeport defense as well because they cover the field.
Bobby Scanoni with some instructions for his sophomore quarterback, Mike Sirigliano. Buddy, I want to ask you, I don't know if you've had sophomore quarterbacks. You're a championship team. You've got a sophomore quarterback starting for his first year. How much pressure is there on a kid like Mike Sirigliano?
I don't think there's any pressure on either one of these quarterbacks at this point in the season. They've both been through 10 high school football games and they've won championships. I think they're real comfortable and real cool.
3rd and 4, he was under severe pressure, threw it out, intended for Bowler, who caught the touchdown pass earlier, and it goes incomplete. They'll be forced to punt, and again they had pressure. It was Clifton Smith applying the pressure on the sophomore quarterback.
Smith did a good job putting the pressure on. I tend to agree with what Buddy's saying right there. Buddy's saying that, the kids get there, the only pressure is put on them is what their coaches do. If the coaches are down on the screen down, yeah, there's pressure, but if the coach is saying, hey guys, you got us to the championship game, you've been through 10, the kid feels confident, he knows it, he's going to lead them. Take a look right now. You're going to watch that replay one more time. Pressure right here. You see Sirigliano, just a little fake right there. Drops back, rolls behind his blockers. But he's thrown off his back foot. He's just, getting the ball in the air. You see right there, that's Bowler trying to catch the ball, and unfortunately, he didn't put the ball on the money.
And when you've got a guy like Smith coming at you, you got to release it a little early.
I think the real pressure on both of these quarterbacks was probably game 1 and game 2 of the season. That's where the real pressure was.
Good point. Funaro to do the punting. His first punt just 24 yards, so Patchogue Medford punting back at around their own 20-yard line. Gomez, an excellent return man at the 35-yard line. Gomez had a 67-yard touchdown for a punt return against Syosset this year. He'll wisely watch this one bounce. However, it takes a great Patchogue Medford roll and will die inside the 30.
Barry, as a kicking game person, I get sick when I watch these balls bouncing around there because you catch that ball, you're up 12, 13 yards further up the field if you can catch the ball in the air.
And our third quarter action of our Class 1 championship football game is being brought to you by EAB. Barry Landers along with Tom Howard, Buddy Krumenacher, Farmingdale coach. In case you're hearing Tom Howard talk about we and us, I have to remind you folks who are not aware of it, Tom Howard is the Farmingdale athletic director, former Rutgers champion in Suffolk County. You were the coach at Bayshore when they won the Rutgers Trophy.
That was many years ago, Barry. Buddy was the Rutgers Cup champion at Hempstead for about 10 years in a row there, too, winning a bunch of it.
Hard to believe 1988 was his last year there. Here's Smith. They've done a good job containing him, wrapped up as he picked up short yardage. And he crosses the 30 to around the 32. Jason Heaton, number 70, on the tackle.
They've had a lot of success all year with that little trap game inside, and it's good to see them coming back from that like that.
Well, you know what they do? They can spread you out, right? Like you said, you get locked in a man on the corners. All you can really do is put 4 guys up front and maybe a linebacker in the middle to try to watch it. You got to get trapped out on the corners, and they trap you, and they're gone.
Smith, who's rushed for almost 1,000 yards this year, on only 110 carries, being held in check, 11 yards on 6 carries. As there we are in the beautiful Hofstra press box. Wave it to us, and our spotter waving is Eddie Gordon from Freeport. Smith will stay on the ground. Look at the swarm there. Mike Gorlandi, the Fireplug 5'8", 210 senior, all-county defensive lineman, who's their vocal leader on the tackle right there.
I'll tell you, Clifton Smith got swarmed on there, and what we saw in the first half, two teams one team like a freight train driving the ball down the field, Patchogue Medford, the other team like a lightning bolt coming right back, Freeport. Right now, they've gone the opposite direction right here, buddy. It's two defensive teams, and there's Bobby Scanoni. You see, he carries his keys every place he goes. He likes to hang on to those things.
The keys to the championship. Big play, 3rd down and 6 in a tie game. 6:29 to go, 3rd quarter, deadlocked at 12. Sophomore Freddie Pierce, the throw. Looking up the middle, and could not be held on. Donovan Noble, the intended receiver. Derek Rossi all over him. It'll be a punting situation.
Now, I really haven't noticed the pressure on Pierce that I thought Patchogue Medford would be putting on, but he's been having time when he gets back there to throw the ball.
He's had time. He's he's been in a position where he's been able to square his shoulders and throw the ball and
put it on the money pretty well.
Putting it on the money pretty well, and his deep throws have been excellent.
Okay, you're going to take a look right here again as he gets back. Big fullback goes to that right side. He's able to set up and
great job pass blocking.
Low down, put the money, put the ball there.
So a good block by Terry Brown, 57 on that play. Funaro, fair catches, 39-yard kick, no return. Good job there to get them out of what could have been a little dangerous field position.
Well, it was, but Patchogue still has the ball on the 29-yard line, not bad field position. Freeport did a great job defensively the last time that they were on defense. Let's see what they do now.
Barry Landers along with Tom Howard. In case you're just tuning in, it's been all Suffolk. And right now Suffolk has the edge, 12-11. This is the 24th meeting in the Long Island Championship.
Well, I think the way you put it, Barry, is that the first 5 years, Nassau won 11-9. Now we're starting the next 5 years. We got 5 more years to go. So we're down 3-0, but no big deal.
As you see our score, 12-12. And they'll stay on the ground of Funaro. Jackson driving him back, and I'll tell you.
Was this the same Funaro I saw in the first half? Because the guy who couldn't be tackled is getting swarmed down here now in the second half. And maybe Russ Sellon was sitting in the stands last year and said, hey, I know what their game plan. I know what they try to do that second half. We're not even going to play the pass. We're coming up and swarming them.
I think right here in the second half, both defensive lines, Freeports as well as Patchogue Meds, have kind of controlled the line of scrimmage. And, they have a tough time running the ball at each other.
They are. Take a look at that defensive line.
There's a great push by the defensive line.
Sure. 7 men on the front from the defensive line driving back.
Well, you saw Brown, 57, wrestle him down. You saw Jackson come up from his linebacker spot.
Second down
4-3.
Here comes a sweep.
Here's Funaro, and again they get great penetration. Eduardo Gomez coming up from the secondary. He's intense. He loves to play the run. And right there, he stuffs the run.
But Barry, he as you said, he's a cornerback. He's usually about 6 or 7 yards off the ball. Right now, what they're doing, instead of playing the 4-3 that they sang in the beginning of the game, they're bringing 7 and 8 men up on bringing their corners hard.
Well, they're challenging Patchogue Medford, Bob Scanoni, to put the ball in the air. Something he doesn't often do.
We have a replay of that?
Well, apparently not.
Yeah, maybe we can come back in the next play. We'll see. Yeah. We can come back in the next play, buddy.
3rd and 13. Rigliano is 3 for 5 for 19 yards passing. Stay on the ground. Funaro's got blocking from Murphy at the 35. Trying to get the first down. Close. They mark it at the 39. That should be enough.
And Barry, maybe before we go to the replay buddy one, we can take a look at this one first and then come back. This is a sweep. When you run the buck sweep, you got to have blocking at the point of attack. The last time there wasn't blocking. Let's go with this one first. We're going to take a look right here. And just watch right there, the sweep. The 2 guards are out in front. They both hit their blocks. The big wingback gets his block, and even the stalk block down the field by Chris Robinson's being blocked. So football is blocking and tackling, buddy. Maybe this is your replay, buddy. This is your replay.
Funaro against Gomez there.
Everybody's open on that one.
And you see, there was no blocking.
No blocking on that one.
Football's blocking and tackling. You block and tackle better than the other team, you usually win the game.
Usually you do.
So it's 1st and 10. Big first down picked up. Rossi lines up as the wing to the right side. And this is Murphy off the left side, jammed down as he got maybe a yard. Good defensive play by James Jackson. Outside of a couple of runs by Funaro, he had one run, I think, of some 38 yards and that 14, 15-yard run. They've kept him pretty much in check.
Well, Russ Sellon has really done a great job of convincing these guys, hey, we can play football. Yep. And maybe what happened is these guys were reading the paper and they were a little nervous coming into the game. I doubt it, but now they realize, hey, Patchogue Medford isn't what we thought they are. We can play with these guys with no problem.
They can certainly play with these people, absolutely.
Greg Murphy with 38 yards, 12 carries, the all-county running mate of Mike Funaro. This time Funaro again wrestled down number 72, Chris Monroe, who may be a 1AA player at 6'3", 245. He's a kid who studies films and really a very cerebral as well as physical player.
Well, he is. He's tough. He's good. And, you know, he said before, 1,691 yards coming into this game. He's a tough running back. But, you know, buddy, situation right now, third and the long 6, maybe 3rd and 7. As a defensive coach, you want to put a Patchogue Medford team in this who doesn't like to throw the ball back.
Yeah, you do. You want him in this situation rather than that 3rd and 4 look.
Where they can get almost 4 yards on the clock.
Yeah, but they went on the run for 14 yards the last time.
You have to come up and play it. Now they got more guys on the line of scrimmage. Just see what happens if they try to run.
Sirigliano on the keeper. Sirigliano, first down, breaks down the sideline. Chased from behind and will be dragged down. Noel Thompson saving a touchdown. And you saw the speed of Mike Sirigliano.
And how about that? A busted play that should have been stopped in the backfield. The kid breaks off the corner and gets 38 yards on the run, goes down and picks up a 1st and 10, and really in a 3rd and 7 situation, buddy, he probably should have been stopped in the backfield.
Probably should have been. I'd like to see that over again if anybody was that.
We'll take another look here, gentlemen.
We'll take it right here, and you can see as he comes down the line, his block is around
nice
front.
lead by 50 here.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's Michael Landy is there, but Mike was sort of slow. He wasn't looking for somebody who was standing there. Mike Sirigliano had to push him out of the way.
Yeah. And Noel Thompson saving a touchdown. Shoestring tackle, 1st and 10 at the 18. Pat Med trying to take the lead here. Keeping the ball, Sirigliano cuts inside the 15 and down at around the 12-yard line, about a 6-yard gain. James Jackson brought him down.
We're going to go back to that previous play, Barry, right now and take a look. You can see right here where it's a busted play. It just gets his guard, runs right into him in the beginning, and you can see that's number 50. That's Michael Landy, who actually bangs
sweep
into
again,
him.
isn't it?
It was the sweep he was supposed to hand off, and what he did is just kept the ball himself. Everybody's looking for Funaro to carry it, and Sirigliano busts down the sideline for 38 yards.
Broke the tackle. Looked like Noble was going to get him there. So it is 2nd down and 3 at the 11. 2.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Out of the power I now they work. Rossi winds up as the power back. This is Murphy, jammed back. And no gain on the play. Chris Monroe got in, number 72.
And generally, they follow Rossi, the big 6'3", 217-pound senior, number 88. But that time, Rossi went through, hit nobody, and Freeport just smothered all over him.
So we're down to 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. It'll be 2nd down. Make that 3rd down and 2 at the 11-yard line. Make it the 10 and a half.
Well, they're in 4-down territory, Barry, so they only need a yard on this play and come back and pick up a yard on 4th.
Murphy and Funaro line up in the eye. Rossi the power back to the right. They go to the right side. Funaro blasts to the 5, has the 1st down, looking for the end zone, won't get it. He's down at the 3-yard line. It's goal to go.
Well, they came over end over in that formation where they brought the tight end over to the right and then they split it out even further than that, and they just powered off that right-hand side.
7-yard gain for the hard-driving 215-pound Mike Funaro, leading candidate for the Hanson Award.
He's a great kid. And we're going to take a look right here. We have a little sound action too. Let's take a look and listen here.
Tough to tackle this
You
guy.
hear some pounding out there, Barry. I mean, he's able to run the ball, and Freeport's hitting pretty hard too.
Funaro for the end zone. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Mike Funaro with his 2nd touchdown of the evening, and Patchogue Medford regains the lead, 18-12, with 1:22 to go in the 3rd.
Great leg drive. I think that what you see there is a kid that knows how to go from point A to point B in a straight line and power his way into the end zone.
He squares those shoulders to the line of scrimmage and just
yes.
keeps those legs driving. It's tough to bring a kid down unless you're a great tackle and hit low and you need somebody else to help you up high.
Yeah,
well,
he's got great leg drive.
Remember, as you pointed out, Mike Funaro in the 2nd half last year that turned it on, wound up with 195 yards, the all-time rushing leader in the Long Island Football Championships. And his 2 runs, the last 10 yards, resulting in the touchdown. It looks like they're going to go for 2.
Remember, Sirigliano is the guy here who busted this big play to get him down there.
Yep. They're going for 2. Sirigliano off to go into the end zone for the 2-point conversion to Mike Funaro. Boy, it looked easy.
Well, the last 2 times they ran the buck sweep down there, they tried to sweep. This time they just went to that power eye, went off of it, and you know, really there was probably an option there, but I don't think Sirigliano was even thinking about that. He was going to do his big boy Funaro the whole way.
Well, Funaro, if you'll recall, last year went in on a 2-point conversion after they scored. He scored the touchdown to put him in front. They opened up a 14-6 lead. That year, Uniondale went on to win by 2 touchdowns.
And all they're doing right now is really challenging Russell and the Freeport Red Devils. They said, hey, you know, we scored a touchdown, you came back and answered. We scored a touchdown, you came back and answered. Now we scored a touchdown, a 2-point extra point. Russ, let's see what you can do. And I'm sure the Red Devils over there, they're going to rise to the occasion.
10-play, 71-yard drive, 4 minutes and 49 seconds. And Mike Funaro trying to help Suffolk County to a sweep. Earlier, we've seen Belport, North Babylon, and Babylon come away with victories to give Suffolk a 3-0 edge this year.
Well, this is a time for, as I said before, Russell and the Freeport Red Devils to rise to the occasion. They don't represent just Freeport right now. They represent about 2 million people in Nassau County.
They certainly do. I think you're going to see them be patient, though. I don't think you're going to see them throw the ball
just trying
three
to
big strikes deep. I think they're going to stay with their plan, whatever it is they have in mind, to run the ball a little bit, maybe get the ball back in Gomez's hands a little, because Eddie's a dangerous person. And then you'll see some throw mixed in.
And they have,
you need some first downs. They need to keep the Patchogue Medford offense off the field for
Yep, that's a good point. 1:22 to go, third and quarter. Barry Landers along with Tom Howard and Buddy Krummenacher. Down on the field, Jimmy Cavallo. Great crowd here. And our entire LISN crew. John Connor, want to thank so many people who've helped us. Jim Rivera, the assistant principal at Patchogue Med, doing our spotting, along with Eddie Gordon, the 9th grader from Freeport, spotting for them. And couldn't ask Jake White to do any more with all the great stats he's provided us with.
I mean, the guy works his tail off week in and week out from Garden City High School and Nassau County statistician.
Jackson to the 30, 35, and shoved down as he got to the 37. So they'll have good field position as he's brought down by Chris Robinson.
Well, I tell you, Buddy can attest to their special teams. In the Farmingdale game, they took a punt that they were supposed to be punting, Buddy, and busted it off, and little Gomez went for a touchdown, I believe.
He did a 70-yard fake punt, which certainly complicated matters a little bit, and we were able to come back and score again and win the game, but their special teams are very good. I think that Patchogue Med's team speed, though, is a lot better than most people thought it was coming into this game.
We said that earlier, buddy. We said that people didn't think that Funaro could break it to the outside on a Freeport team, and he has.
Yes.
They'll go with their 4 wide receivers set. Gomez, Noble, and Huggins lined up to the right side. Jackson to the near side. And on the keeper, Pierce will get across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Bowler coming up with the tackle. Chris Bowler, number 44.
And buddy, again, we've seen this team quite a bit, but what they do is they don't even put their receivers in the huddle. Their receivers stay out. They split the receivers out to right or left. They go twins to one side, twins to the other. And Russ just gives the plays. You see Russ selling right there on your screen. He's giving the play into the quarterback. The quarterback lets the lineman and the fullback know what's going on, and the receivers pick it up.
And the receivers read the hand signals, and they go from there.
They know what's going on, whether they're going to stalk block downfield or whether
it's a route, yes.
Freddie Pierce with 40 seconds to go in his third quarter, facing a 2nd and 7 from the shotgun. With time, looking deep. And he's got a man out there, bobbled and dropped. Donovan Noble was the man who bobbled it and dropped it.
But again, Barry, they're only one pass away from a touchdown anytime they're on the field, and they're only one step away from a touchdown when they get the ball inside of either Eduardo Gomez's hands or Clifton Smith, as big as he is, can bust it, right, bud?
Oh, absolutely, and that was a great throw.
Donovan Noble.
I think Pierce is on this evening.
He is on.
Throwing the ball very,
take a look right here. He's on also because he has all the time in the world. His offensive line's doing a good job. Look at this. He's able to put the ball on the money. You look at 28 walking back there. He was playing a man-to-man to start out with, so obviously not man anymore. They must have switched his own, but they let a sophomore like Sirigliano to cover the whole field when 2 guys are going deep. That got to be tough to do.
That's tough.
30 seconds to go. 3rd and 7.
I don't want this guy coming out the right huddle right
now. And now Patrick Medford says, I want to talk things over.
Bobby's walking out there. He's a little hot, I'll tell you. Somebody may get those keys in their face.
This club doesn't give up many points. We mentioned they give up less than 5 points a game. You see the time remaining, gentlemen.
At this point, he's got to, as far as covering the pass, he's got to bring more people and rush Freddie into situations where he's got to throw the ball when he's not ready to throw the ball. Or you got to put more people in coverage and play deeper. But our approach has always been to kind of put the pressure on the quarterback and make him throw the ball maybe when he's not ready.
So you got to protect the width and depth of the football field on pass defense, and there's 3 ways to do it. 1 by putting the pressure on the quarterback, 1 by holding up the receivers, or the 3rd just by sitting back and pass defense.
And gentlemen, a reminder that tonight's exciting football coverage is being brought to you by Canon USA. By our friends at Chase Manhattan Bank, the right decision is everything. By Genovese, we'll take good care of you. By Bob's Store. By Elite Sports Medicine and Rehab in Ronkonkoma with Dr. Frank Segreto. And by Cablevision. Well, waiting the resumption of play with 30 seconds to go. Class 1 Long Island Football Championship as we wind down the 6th year of Long Island football. And right now, big play coming up, John.
And I tell you, it is a big play because not only is it a third down situation, and all third downs are key, but if they don't, they have to punt right now, and you don't want to get Patchogue the ball back because they may drive it down your throat and put up another score.
Pierce from the shotgun. Has time, the ball deflected at the line of scrimmage. I believe it was Murphy who got a piece of it. Greg Murphy.
He brought Murphy off the corner that down, and
that's what Buddy was talking about before. You put pressure on the quarterback, which they hadn't been doing, and it makes him rush it a little bit. He was able to get his big hand in there and back the ball down.
I think that's what you see in this particular play. You see the corner blitz.
You're going to see right here, Murphy coming off the left side, gets his hand in there. Pierce is set up. Pierce is looking downfield, and he looks like he has a man, but just watch Murphy's hand right there. Come in, bat the ball, falls incomplete, 4th down.
4th punt coming for Gomez. He's averaged 32 yards a kick. Pressure put on by Robinson, but he got it away. Takes a good bounce for Freeport, and will be down inside the 25 at the 23. And again, as you pointed out, the key for Freeport, don't let them use 4 or 5 minutes or more off the clock on any kind of long drive.
Well, this is, you know, what they've been doing is they have been playing real good, solid defense this third quarter. Unfortunately, before in a big third down play, the quarterback, Mike Sirigliano, was able to break one for 38 yards, and that put them in a hole because they got into 4th down territory. This right now is a big defensive stand for them. They've been playing very good defense.
It's interesting, Tom. We talked about the weapons that Murphy and Funaro are, but here's Sirigliano with a touchdown pass and a big run to set up the other score.
Only a sophomore. He's stepping up in this game. As is Pierce on the other side, only a sophomore.
1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Great job by both sophomore quarterbacks.
Out of that tight wing formation. Murphy looks to cut. Murphy gang tackled as he got to the 25-yard line. Eddie Bryant, one of the first guys to hit him, the swarming defense. And that will wrap it up. Buddy Krummenacher, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Success. Buddy Krummenacher, the Farmingdale football coach, our guest in the 3rd quarter. And that is it. 1 more quarter to go. And the Red Raiders of Patchogue trying to win their 2nd championship in a row. Lead by 8. We head to the 4th quarter over the Freeport Red Devils. You're watching Cablevision's LISN.
Have everything they want. They have the lead going into the 4th period. They have the big offensive line, the tough bruising fullback, the real fast, hard-hitting fullback.
Sirigliano to throw, almost intercepted, batted down. Number 58 right there trying to come up with the ball. Eddie Bryant, the 5'11" all-conference senior.
And if Eddie Bryant were 5'12" or 6 foot, he might be able to bring that one down, Barry. He just missed that, and boy, he was in the flat all by himself right there.
Oh, Lordy, he had 6 points right there. Sirigliano putting it in the air.
That was a 2nd and 10, too. You usually don't see Patchogue Medford throwing in that situation.
Now it'll be 3rd and 8 from their own 25. This you would expect a passing situation. Ferraro lined up in the I formation behind Murphy. And here's Sirigliano on the keeper. He's got Murphy blocking for him. Sirigliano will not get the 1st down. Got to the 32-yard line. Donovan Noble, one of the tacklers. Let's check in with Jimmy Cavallo.
You know, Barry, I had a chance in between quarters to kind of sneak into the huddle of Bob Scanoni and Patchogue Medford. I'm really impressed by Bob Scanoni's temperament. Here's a young guy, just a 5th-year coach, but as he brought his team over to the sidelines, he was poised, calm, and collected. Just went around the huddle, make sure everybody knew their assignments, let them know this is the 4th quarter, guys. Let's all be on the same page mentally. Hey, you got to be impressed, Bob Scanoni. Back upstairs.
Is that the same Bob Scanoni that we're watching right now that Jimmy's talking about? He seems pretty fired up right there. This was a situation last year, Barry, where he went for it in 4th down in the 3rd quarter. He's now directing, he's saying, hey, we're going to punt the football away. I'm not taking a chance. I'm giving it back to Freeport.
Funaro to kick for the 3rd time, averaging 32 yards. Kicks it off the side of his foot, out of bounds across midfield. And they'll spot it at around the 43, a 26-yard kick. And Freeport's going to have the ball in really good field position up near midfield time.
Well, I'm trying to see. I'm watching the ref spot the ball. I saw exactly
48.
where the ball went out. He ran back to the 40 and walked up to the 48, right where it went out. He could have stayed right at the 48. But there it is. The spot is perfect. Perfect spot. And you see Ball set for play.
So let's see what Freddie Pierce can do. This young sophomore quarterback who was a backup last year. You know, Freeport's had some great quarterbacks, starting with Mark Levine, the kid who's been at St. John's the last 4 years. Then, of course, they went to a quarterback a couple of years ago that played real well for them the last 4 years, and or actually until this young quarterback took over. And, you know, it's been a real good... That quarterback, Mike LaCassie, who was the quarterback for 3 years, replaced Mark Levine.
Well, Russ Allen's done a great job. He's been there 12 years, and he went to the run and shoot about 7 years ago. And his quarterbacks are known as great poised quarterbacks who can throw the football.
Well, this time Pierce cannot find a receiver, and he will be sacked. And Murphy coming up with a good defensive play, and also helping out number 70, Jason Heaton, the 6', 205-pound senior backup lineman.
And Barry, when you watch the pros, they call that coverage sack. Well, I call that a good defensive rush sack, but every single defensive back was on their man, man for man. There was no one open downfield. Smart move by Freddie Pierce. Put the ball away, eat it. Maybe we take a loss or two, but we'll come back again. He can strike at any time.
He's 5 for 11 for 133 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Jackson and 1 to Huggins. Should have had another one, but Donovan Noble dropped one wide open. Pierce to throw, almost picked off. The intended receiver was Noble, and Chris Bowler again had that one in his hand.
Well, I'll tell you, Chris Bowler dropped off at times. Sometimes he's coming into his defensive end position. Sometimes he's dropping off into that linebacker position. Chris dropped off. He was sitting right in the walkaway. Here's the 3-step drop, and he throws it out. Bowler walked away. Bowler sitting right there. He comes and almost comes up with the pick. Donovan Noble, who dropped the big touchdown pass, or almost touchdown pass before, was the intended receiver.
Bowler, a real leader on this senior-dominated club, an all-county performer. 3rd and 12 at their own 46-yard line. Single setback. Here's Smith on the pitch. Turns the corner down the sideline and wrestled out of bounds after he picked up short yardage by Brian Kallmeyer. Haven't mentioned his name very much, but he too is an all-county player.
Yeah, he is. He's a real tough kid. I tell you, 5'10", 207-pound senior. He's able to really stick people. He's really tough versus a run, and he's able to go sideline to sideline, Barry. He made a real big play there. You're going to look, the other Patchogue linebackers, Kallmeyer and Derek Rossi, 2 real big ones. You see Greg Murphy standing in the picture right there. He can play strong safety, or as you see right now, come up on the line, rush off the corner.
10:06 to go, so Freeport stuffed, and on 4th and 8, they will be forced to punt. Fake, here's Gomez. Angel Gomez looking for the first down, awfully close, had to get to the 43 or 42. Let's see where they spot.
Boy, I'll tell you, I don't know whether he made it, Barry, and that is a gutsy call by Russ Seller, because if he does not make the first down there, and I'm telling you, I saw him run for a touchdown against Freeport, against Farmingdale. Buddy and I talked about that before. They're upset about the spot at this point right now.
There's also a flag on the field, Tom, at the 47-yard line.
Well, I don't know, you know, the best thing that can happen here is they make the first down, they get the penalty, they bring it back and just punt the ball and get it out of there. If I'm Russ Seller, I'm saying, hey, I see the flag down, because the worst thing that happens is to give up the ball to Patchogue on the 42 when they take over.
Well, those Gomez brothers, they're pretty dangerous back there.
Well,
whether it's Eduardo or Angel.
He can run the ball, and they got a real nice block on the corner. If that's what the flag is for, I question it, because there was a real nice block right there where one of the Freeport players, I'm not sure the number, just leveled the Patchogue Med guy. They missed it.
Either a first down or Patchogue Medford takes over. They will take over Patchogue Med. It is short by a couple of inches.
Well, boy, I tell you, Russ Seller better get his defense to rise to the occasion, because that could be a huge mistake that can cost the football game right now.
Watch Angel Gomez here.
I mean, that's a run designed from the beginning. He just took off and he went. Right down the field. There's a good block there, and you can't see it. Number 57 for Freeport. That's Terry Brown, who's the one who threw a real nice block as far as I'm concerned when I saw from the top here, but the flag was right around his feet. Watch 57 to the right-hand side of your screen. I don't know that he wasn't into the right shoulder before he pushed him down. That's where the flag is going to come. He's hitting Greg Murphy. They're going to call that the hit from behind.
All right, so Patchogue Medford, the Raiders take over, leading with 9:59 to go, 4th quarter by 8. 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. Funaro tripped up. They got penetration. James Jackson in the backfield, getting in very quickly.
And they're coming back to that unbalanced line. It's just the end over where they're bringing the split end to the far left side of the field. They're going Guard, tackle, tight end to the left, and they're just running the power off that side. Freeport's doing a nice job of adjusting. And that penalty really, Barry, had no effect on it because they didn't make the first down, so it didn't make a bit of difference.
Mike Funaro's been the story here with a big couple of touchdown runs, and has had another huge game, 135 yards on 23 carries. His best 266 yards and 5 touchdowns this year. And that came in a game earlier this year against Brentwood. Here's Funaro again. Again, look at the coverage there. Containment from the defensive end. Nowhere for him to go on that play as he's wrapped up by Terry Brown and a couple of other tacklers.
Good job by Greg Murphy blocking at the corner. He does a good job of sustaining his block, staying with his man. When you run the sweep, you have to sustain your block, but that time Greg Murphy sustained it for 5 or 6 seconds. That's a long time. But on the other side, good job by Freeport of fighting off of that, coming through, making the tackle, gain of maybe a half yard.
So it'll set up 3rd and 9. You would think a pass situation.
In the pass, so what they've been doing is they've been letting the quarterback run the ball in the pass situation. So I don't know that I'm covering pass per se. I'm just playing good, solid defense and reacting to what they do.
Well, he's 3 for 6 for 19 yards. And an option pass for Naro. He's got Bowler out there ahead of the field. Bowler's got it. Bowler trying to get away, and he's wrestled down by Donovan Noble. First down inside the 25.
Big teams make big plays in big situations. Another big 3rd down situation. Pat Med comes up with a great play. Halfback option pass. Giuliano to Bowler. Chris Bowler, the 5'10", 180-pound bowling ball down the field. Second time today, Barry, we saw him wide open waiting for the ball to get to him.
But a touchdown pass earlier from Sirigliano, and this huge pass gives him 1st and 10 inside the 25.
Russ Selling showing some concern on the sideline. You know, he has some defensive backs who bit on the running play. They came up, and Bowler was left wide open.
Well, you got Funaro carrying the ball around the side. You got to think it's going to be a run.
Yeah, we got to get, I mean, the 3rd down stats are amazing in this game for Patchogue Medford. They made some real big ones.
All right, Sirigliano keeping. He's got a blocker out there. Murphy tries to turn the corner, and again, excellent job that time by Clifton. Smith maybe at the end of the play, maybe got a piece of the face mask there. Ball at the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at the play before here, Tom.
And I tell you, this is a big play here. You can see right now, Finaro take the ball. He can start setting up so you know it's a halfback option pass. Good pressure right there by Clifton Smith on him, but Bowler wide open, no one even near him.
34-yard pickup. And finally, Noble able to wrestle him down.
On the last play, I tell you, Noel Thompson did a real nice job on this last play, stringing the play out. He's right here, number 32. Watch how he strings the play out, grabs the jersey, but by that time he slows everything down. Again, he didn't make the tackle, but he really made the tackle by stringing the play out.
No penalty, so it's 2nd and 11. Funaro off the left side. Again, they won't let him get away. Got to the 21-yard line. Noel Thompson coming up from the secondary to make the stop. And got help also from Chris Monroe. Clock ticking, 7:08 to go. We get another 3rd down play coming
here. Well,
it's
3rd and long one more time. And again, Patchogue Medford has answered the bell. Every time they've had a 3rd and long, they've come through with a big play. And you want to know something? They've done something different every time, Barry. So it's tough to defend. Do you guard against the run? They ran one time. Do you guard against the pass? They passed one time. Do you guard against the halfback option pass? They've done something different every time.
Right now, Bowler lines up as a right end. Rossi a left end. Here they go now. Sirigliano rolling to his right, looking downfield. He's in trouble. Avoids the sack, still with it. And will get maybe to the 20-yard line, back to the line of scrimmage. Excellent coverage downfield. Terry Brown finally brought him down.
But 4th down, and they got to do it again because they're in 4th-down situation. They're going to go for it one more time. So I was surprised that he was able to scramble away. Sirigliano, only a sophomore, cool under pressure there. Should have been hit for a 5-yard loss. Freeport is missing tackles they can't afford to miss.
Well, 4th and 9. We'll take another look at that last play.
Hey, you see here where Sirigliano takes the ball. Just a little fake right there to Funaro. Goes off the corner. Doesn't have anybody open, but just a missed tackle one more time.
Well, biggest play coming here, Tom Howard. And Funaro lines up as a wide receiver to the right. Keep an eye on him.
You need to put pressure on the quarterback, I think, on this one. You need to get, they're not blitzing anybody, but you need to get somebody in his face.
Sirigliano, quick pitch to Robinson. Robinson tripped up inside the 10. First down, 1st and goal, as he found Chris Robinson.
Okay, so they had some great 3rd down plays. Now they had a great 4th down play. They come through when the pressure's on. Good teams that do that win championships, and they're well on their way to winning a championship because Freeport can't stop them in critical situations. Look at the pass here. Perfect pass. Nice block by Rossi. Rossi takes you to the play every time. I mean, he takes you whether it's a pass or run. Right now, I think we got a timeout by Freeport. At this point right now, I think Russ Sellon is saying, hey, we got to talk. They're bringing Joe Chetty over there, the defensive coordinator. He's going to sit down and say, hey, guys, we got to sit down and talk about what's going on right now.
Well, Joe Chetty talking things over. Chris Robinson's second reception. And we'll look at the numbers right there for 1997, 20,420.
And we grow as they come along. 3,400 right now for the Class 4. You go up to 4,700 for Class 3, 5,000 for Class 2, and you get the big schools here. They bring 7,290 in this game, Barry, for a total of 20,420.
And part of the big crowd of over 7,000 here tonight. Now you look at Chris Robinson, as you said, Tom Howard, he's used different people. Here's Robinson, really hasn't been involved in the offense, but this kid has caught on the year 9 passes. 3 of those have been touchdown passes.
I tell you, when they go to him, he comes down with a big play. And again, a nice job out there by Derek Rossi blocking. People were concerned, hey, was that a pick maybe he was throwing? No, they were man-to-man coverage. Derek Rossi was blocking his man, which he has a right to do, and Robinson caught the ball and was able to run.
Well, the Red Raiders on their way right now. Should they score now, that could put it away. And Meat and Oil, one of our proud sponsors, fourth quarter coverage of this Long Island Class Championship, Class 1. And a little stomping going on there.
Danced right out of his shoe, I tell you. His shoe's up in the right-hand corner there.
He doesn't mind.
He's a madman. Put him out of linebacker.
Again, congratulations to all the teams who made it to the Long Island Championships. And the winners earlier, Bellport, North Babylon, representing Suffolk County, and trying to make it a sweep, the Patchogue Red Raiders. Trying to make it 2 in a row. Massapequa won in 93 and 94 with Lou Andre 2 in a row in the Class 1.
They did a great job in those 2 years. Came back and beat Connecticut in the last couple of seconds. And this not count Freeport out quite yet, Barry. They still they're a good team, and they have ability to do it defensively and offensively.
First and goal at the 9-yard line. Off the left side whistle, so the play will not count. As they went to Murphy. And I'll tell you, if...
now, I don't see any flags down, so I wonder if they were set for play. I wonder, let's see where the flag is, because I don't see a flag on the field. We got to hear from the referee what the call is on
this one. I think Hal says as the camera guys at the end zone were a little too close, so he's the one who called time to stop play.
The camera guys.
Not our camera guys.
It better not be TV
not
guys.
Our cameramen. But camera guys are taking some
stills. Those media people get in the way of coaches all the time, Barry.
It's first down.
They're just going to play back right now. Bobby Scanoni's a little hot on the sidelines because you said Don Lundigan's letting him know it's first down. Get that second down out of there for the guy who's holding the box.
All right, guys, call your play.
All right, Downey does a great job. First and 10 at the 9-yard line. Great lacrosse official as well from the power eye. Gennaro is the tailback, Murphy the fullback. They go to Murphy, spins out of the initial crash, and down as he got maybe to the 8-yard line by Clifton Smith.
Eddie Bryant made the first hit but didn't lock. He got a lock there, Eddie. Make the hit, lock, heavy other guy swarmed to the ball. He didn't. Canaro was able to spin off, picked up maybe a half a yard on the play. They're back. Their worst situation, Barry, is 3rd and 9 or 4th and 9. I'm scared to death when they're in that.
They've come up with every big play on 3rd down.
Let's take a look and listen right here at the popping that's going down on the line. Little cracks there by the Freeport defense, and I tell you, some of those cracks are being given by the Patchogue offense. Murphy and Finaro, Derek Rossi, Mike Sirigliano, great backs up by a great line.
2nd and goal. This is Murphy into the end zone, touchdown. Greg Murphy with an 8-yard touchdown run that could be the finale, and how fitting for Greg Murphy, who's gone through such a tough year this season.
He really has. Terrible year. Unfortunately, lost his dad. As you said earlier, Bobby Scanoni said to him, hey, Murph Dog, what kind of guy can take you down? He said, a bad man. Well, nobody took him down that time until he crossed the goal line and got into the end zone. Big touchdown for Greg Murphy.
Greg Murphy has battled back from a lot of adversity. Young man who goes to counseling. His dad passed away back in March. He was very close. And I'm sure he's thinking about his dad coming up with a big touchdown run right there. 4:48 to go. Robinson to try the extra point. And Patchogue Medford leading by 14, trying to make it 15. Robinson drills this one through the uprights. And the Red Raiders are 4 minutes and 48 seconds away if they can hang on to this 15-point lead from winning their second straight championship.
Well, now it really puts Freeport in a hole because we know Freeport can strike quickly, but now they're going to have to try to strike even faster. And when they do that, sometimes they throw the ball away. They have to take their time. They're going to have to take the ball, drive the length of the field, get it back on an onside kick, and then drive the length of the field again and get 2 extra runs.
Well, Murphy, 10-play, 57-yard drive. He caps it with the 8-yard run. 5 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock.
Just take a look here, though, how Murphy goes off tackle. Look at the hole that's opened up for him. It's right through, and I mean, he just goes into the end zone. He's gone. You can take a better look at the hole coming right at you into your living room. Watch how these guys get off the ball. Rossi with a crushing block there. And again, they know that Derek Rossi leads you to the play. Everybody knows that, but trying to stop him, it's like trying to stop a hurricane, Barry.
And again, a couple of passes helped set up that drive. The Finaro to Bowler long pass, and then it was the pass to Robinson that gave him goal to go.
2 key third down situations, 1 key fourth down situation on that drive.
So the Red Raiders of Patchogue Medford trying to go 19 straight. They've had some great players. Of course, they graduated a great fullback from last year's team, Patchogue Medford, who was an outstanding player as well. And they have done a great job under Bob Scanoni. They'll run over you, run around you, and tonight they passed a few times as well. So Robinson to kick off. Freeport needs a big play here. They've got some speedy return people. Eduardo Gomez is the guy they like to have handle the ball. And Gomez lets it bounce by him. He's going to be in real trouble. Picks it up at the 6-yard line. A lot of black shirts there. Gets away from one and will be driven down at the 15-yard line by Murphy.
Well, I tell you just can't afford that. And that's a coach's worst nightmare. After you give up a touchdown, you need to get good field position to make a mistake in the kicking game. You have to catch the ball. Derek Rossi down on the field. Now, Patchogue Medford is in good position right now. Derek Rossi is the best player on the defense and down on the field, and that has to be very scary for Coach Bob Scanoni.
Well, indeed, there are 4 minutes and 42 seconds remaining. Coaches run over there very quickly. You know, we mentioned Bob Scanoni, the influence that Sal Ciampi has had on him. Of course, his former coach.
He was his former coach. He played on the Rutgers Trophy team for Sal and has coached with Sal, picked up a lot of his philosophies, brought it to Patchogue Medford. But I'll tell you, he's his own man, and he's a great guy. I mean, he's quiet, he's funny, he has his own way about him, and those keys are still in his hand.
And let's go to Jimmy Cavallo.
You know, guys, you're talking about Bob Scanoni and playing under Sal Ciampi. Just let's look inside the numbers. The 3 years that Bob Scanoni played for Sal Ciampi, 1980, the team went 9-0-1. They gave up 6 points on the season. That was a Rutgers Trophy team. 1981, they won 7-1. They gave up 47 points. Real tough year defensively, huh? 1982, 10-0, number 1 in the state. Bob Scanoni was the captain. They gave up 16 points. Do the math real quickly. 69 points in 3 years did the Bob Scanoni defense let up 20 shutouts along the way with a 3-year record of 26-1-1. That is a good foundation for success under Sal Ciampi. Back upstairs.
And Patchogue Medford plays that tough physical defense like East Isaac used to play, and he learned his line blocking, his offense, blocking and tackling the keys to football, and he does that. His assistant coaches, Jimmy Chiarello, Bill Carpluck, and Mike Taylor, also real good guys.
Yeah, for Russ Sellon, let's give credit to his fine staff. Their other coaches, assistants, Joe Chetty, former star at North Babylon High School. What a great running back he was. Went on to start CW Post. And you've got Kurt Smith, Bernie Larkin, Keith Brown, some of the other guys who've helped that outstanding Freeport.
And Joe has to be in his heart a little happy that North Babylon won the Conference 3 championship this year. He's a former North Babylon student and happy to see Terry Manning and his Bulldogs do well.
All right, when play resumes, we'll have the resumption of play. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line here.
And I got to see the Sachem game, the last game of the year against Sachem, when Patchogue Medford playing. Derek Rossi was out for one play. Pontieri came in for him, and he was back in next play.
Gomez got to the 15-yard line, and that's it. Dave Pontieri, number 9, on the tackle.
Derek Rossi's checking back in, and Pontieri's checking out.
Tough kid. Rossi says, I want to be out there on the field right now. Pontieri makes the play, and he comes out and gets.
I think Pontieri caught him on the sideline and said, "Hey, Derek, fake an injury so I can get in for one hit here, and then you can come back."
He's one of those kids you love. He'll fill in anywhere. He's a good high school football player, and you love to have those guys.
He'll go on offensive back. He'll go on the line if you ask him to do that. Pontieri, a real tough kid.
Well, Clifton Smith, who we talked about being a featured guy, just really out of this game. They have not run very much to him, given him the opportunity, and kind of a lost cause here. Pierce will go to the air here, looking for Gideon Huggins, and it's over his head. Matt May was back defending number 83.
And I'll tell you, they're asking the ref for a flag there with a little push at the end. He says, "No, sir, we're not going to bite on that one." Right in front of the Patchogue Medford stands. They're a little hot on this one, but, you know, I'm surprised that the Freeport's trying to go for it all right now. Trying to go down the middle of the field. Patchogue Medford's dropping off deep. They're giving you 18 to 20-yard passes down across the middle. That's what's open right now. Take what they're giving you, even though there's only 3:54 left in the game. Take what they're giving you to try to get the first touchdown, then let's go for the second. Take a look here, ball overthrown. Now just take a look. After the ball hits the ground, watch the push right here. Okay, just go down. Right in front of the Patchogue stands. They're looking for the call. Referee says, "Hey, I'm calling the dangerous, the obvious in this case." That isn't an obvious hit, just a little bump.
Well, Tom, you know, you kind of wonder if this game might have been different when it was real tight. Donovan Noble wide open. Freddie Pierce hit him what looked like was going to be a touchdown, dropped the ball about the 10-yard line.
Two plays, I think, Barry, right there. That one and the fumble later on in the game. I mean, they're two key plays in this game.
Pierce on third down, scrambling, try to carry for himself, fumbles the football, loose, the red shirts surround it, and they think they've got it. Jumping high in the air was one of their linemen. That was Jason Heaton.
Well, if Patchogue does come up with this ball, it basically shuts it down because they have the offense in 4-down territory to eat up, without even going to the end zone, to eat up the remaining 3 minutes and 44 seconds.
They've got to pile these guys off. Donnie Lundigan's crew, Dennis Crane, Bob Mizigatis,
fourth down.
Jim
Johnny's
Walters.
coming up saying fourth down, and Russ Allen now has to go for it. He doesn't have a choice. It's going to be fourth and about 2.
Bob Dillon, rest of the crew. Let's take a look at the fumble here.
You can see as Pierce is scrambling with the ball. He has the ball out there, the loaf of bread. He gets hit. The ball comes flying.
Who hit him? Rossi. Eric Rossi, who forces so many turnovers with a hard hitting.
And it looked like Seth Belbin, number 73, came up with the ball initially, but maybe one of the Freeport kids stole it out. Fourth and a long 2 yards. Big play here, Barry.
3:35 to go. Freeport down 15. Smumbling it is Smith, picked up by Gomez. He'll try to reverse his field, but runs into big number 52, Tim Jeffries, and that is probably it. And the Red Raider fans think they're champs again for the second time.
Well, they're taking over the ball on the 15-yard line going in. All they really need to do now is really just run the ball. You can't take knees at this point because there's too much time left, but you can run the ball physically behind your big line, try to eat up the clock as you're running it, and also try to get some positive yardage.
Now timeouts remaining. Freeport with 2, Pat Med with 1, but may not be significant at this point.
You know, I'll be honest with you, Barry. As Russ Allen a lot of times will say, "Hey, I want to use my timeouts." I'm not going to use any timeouts until I see what Patchogue Medford does on this drive. I'm not going to use the timeouts to give them a chance to put one more down my throat. I'm going to see what I can do. If my guys can stop them, I'll use my timeouts on offense.
Clock won't start till the ball is snapped. 3:24 to go. Mike Sirigliano's done an excellent job running this club. Hands off to Murphy. Bangs off the left side. Picks up a couple of yards as the clock ticks down. Again, our thanks to Hal Sass, who's done a terrific job once again in our booth. And Hal, of course, suffered a terrible loss a little while ago. His dad passed away. And, you know, Tom, Hal has bounced back. What a trooper he is.
He really has, and we're glad to see him back here. And send our condolences to his mom and the rest of his family. But he's a great guy, and we're glad to have him back.
He does a terrific job, both as an announcer and as our stat guy, Super Stats Hal Sass. And the rest of the people up here at Hofstra, I want to thank them for their help. John Connell, his great crew. We've had some tough weather to work through earlier in the tournament, but tonight we've had a great night.
Well, we've had a great weekend right now. A little rain yesterday for the North Allen game, and it looks like Suffolk County sweeps clean right now. 1997, that plume is going to be able to sweep in about 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
Well, it all started with a convincing 50-0 win by North Babylon. Bellport crushed Lawrence Club after Lawrence got off to the early start, 42-6. We saw a thriller. Babylon come from behind to win in overtime over Roosevelt, 18-12. And here tonight, 12-12 game at halftime, and the Red Raiders asserting themselves here in the second half, now leading 27-12.
Well, dominant teams from Suffolk basically on the ground. They took the ball. You know, Bellport had a couple of great passes through the air, but their primary game is on the ground. The Suffolk teams took the ball behind our big offensive lines on the ground and basically took it to Nassau this year. It's happened before. Nassau's had a sweep once. Suffolk now has a sweep. It's just great high school football, though. Nassau will be back, Barry. This is only a one-year thing.
And again, our thanks to Todd Heimer, Kathy Gallagher, the Section 11 and Section 1 coordinators. There's Todd Heimer in the middle, Kathy to his right, our television left. What a great job they've done, and really forceful in making this Long Island Championship a possibility for football. Murphy, and he's gang tackled at around the 13-yard line. Clock ticks, 2:55 to go. Give you some of the numbers on Murphy and Funaro. Funaro 25 carries, 139 yards, and Murphy 18 carries for 44.
Bad day for Funaro. I had that 195 last year. Only 135 so far today. You know, Bobby Scanoni may be upset with him. Hey guys, what are you doing? You only got 135 yards for me today.
Well, they won last year by 15, and they're leading by 15 here again. And Bobby Scanoni, a young coach, but going to win his second Long Island Championship in only his 5th year. Pretty good.
19 in a row, and I don't know who's going to come take these guys next year. We have a young quarterback like Sorigliano.
All right, this time it'll go to Funaro. He'll get to the 10, a gain of 3, clock ticking, 2:15 to go. And while we're handing out kudos and thanks, you've got to thank Bill Piner, who has one more year left before he's going to kind of hang it up, I guess, as coordinator.
Well, he's done a great job. Pat Pizzarelli is going to take over. He's sort of in an internship right now with Billy Piner, but we want to congratulate Bill on the great work he did and really bringing everything together in Nassau County before bringing the Long Island Championship together with Nick Schroeder and Suffolk.
And Pete Blyberg, who took over, added a lot of energy. Nick's still trying to help him out there, and it's just been real great leadership to bring these Long Island
championships. It really has, and
championships.
that's what you need. You need leadership. The teams come along, build it, and they will come, or they've come, and they're here, and it's been great.
Also want to thank out a young man we had the pleasure of meeting this week, Jonathan Reese. He's a Northport grad, a student at Marist College, a communications major. He's helped us throughout the weekend, and I think he's got a great career ahead of him. I want to thank Jonathan for his help. And we're just about winding down. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go. And little fan support there. They're going to have I'll tell you, the South Shore of Suffolk County really enjoying it.
The guy must like Derek Rossi there, number 88 on the back of his head, Patchogue Medford on the side of his head, and I don't want to see what's on the front of his head. It's a pretty mean face as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'll tell you, they're going to go for a field goal here. Robinson will attempt a field goal from the 17-yard line. There'll be a 27-yard attempt for the senior. Fake. And they'll run with the football here. And it's inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, it's very close to the first down. He had to get just across the 5. He got to the 5 to see where the spot's going to be, Barry.
Pontieri was the holder.
Excellent call, though, as far as I'm concerned, because if you kick the field goal and it gets blocked and they pick it up and run for a touchdown, they have time to onside kick. The fake was a good call. Even if you don't make it, they're 95 yards away from a touchdown and then have to onside kick and get a second touchdown with only 1 timeout remaining. So I think that really was the right thing to do. I was a little concerned, didn't want to say it when he went to kick. Who am I to question Bobby Scanoni? 2 Long Island championships in a row. And Funaro, Long Island champs last year on a winning touchdown by Mike Funaro.
They got it.
You saw they got the first down.
You know,
that basically locks it up.
They have such an interesting selection of calls on 3rd and 4th downs that Bobby Scanoni has shown a lot of imagination for a team that you think is 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Didn't learn that from South Champion, okay? Now, I'm not saying South's not imaginative, but I'll tell you something. Bobby Scanoni has done a lot of things, took a lot of pages out of other coaches' books.
They have come up with some really imaginative plays in critical 3rd down situations.
And capitalized on it, and that's what championship teams do.
Took advantage of a couple of mistakes, turnovers, and with 1:49 to go, working out of the eye. Funaro trying to get into the end zone for one more time, gets down to the 2. He scored 2 touchdowns tonight, has 33 for his career. And if Joe Gardy's back from Delaware, I'm sure he's looking for Marciano Hall, looking at this guy Funaro and saying, boy, I'd love to have this 215-pounder running as my super back.
You know, unfortunately, Rossi's probably going to go someplace. He has visits set up with Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State. But I tell you, if I was Joe Gardy, I'd be sleeping at his doorstep. A lot of kids from Patchogue, Medford, real tough kids and very good. And you take a look, I think we're going to see Joe sitting right up there in Marciano Hall. He got the binoculars right there in the middle of the screen. We're going to take a look and see right now the type of team Freeport is. They have the ball. They're down by 2 touchdowns. A minute and 3 seconds to go. Let's see if they rise to the occasion now. What kind of pride do they have, Barry?
Under a minute to go. Flag delay of game. And Bobby Scanoni is, not rushing any plays here. Whatever is going to happen here. And
well, the best thing Bobby can do, and I think he's smart right now, is put the ball back to the 8. We're not going to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
We're not even going to give the other team a chance to get the ball in their hands. We'll use up the clock. We'll use up the full 59 seconds, and then that will be it. There's only 1 timeout left for Freeport.
Tom, not to dampen what has been a great weekend, there was some skepticism, some talk among people, some of the media people, some of the coaches, that possibly some of the other teams from Suffolk in the opening 2 games, in the North Babylon victory and the Bellport one-sided victories, that perhaps the coaches might have pulled some of their starters earlier, and then the margins of victory might not have been so lopsided.
Well, they could have. They have their own philosophy. They do what they want to do also, but you see Bobby Scanoni, he's a class act. He's always been a class act. He's just taking the ball. All he wants to do is win football games. 13-12, 10-9. As long as I come away a winner, I'm happy.
Short and sweet. And he will knee and shows the class right there as Mike Sirigliano, who's got 2 more years left, will take it. Talk about poise. This kid has it, doesn't he?
He really does. A sophomore, he's out there. And you talked to Buddy before about it. Buddy was absolutely right. The first 2 games, if there was a time to be nervous, it was those first 2 games. He has just been there leading the team, came up with some big plays. That huge 3rd down play where he ran the ball before, picked up the 38 yards, Barry. That really is the key play of the whole game because they popped it in there for that, then they came back and
absolutely good point, Tom.
They hold them at that point. Who knows what might have happened?
And, of course, Noble dropping the pass.
Was another big one, sure.
This will be the final play of this football game and the final play of the Long Island Football Championship. Sirigliano takes the knee and the Patchogue fans start to celebrate.
And this is how I like to see a football game end. Hey, guys, go across, shake hands with the opposition, say nice job, shake their hand. Forget about using every single one of your timeouts. Say, hey guys, we played good, you played good, congratulations.
Red Raiders are Red Rovers, they're champions for the 2nd year in a row. They've now won 19 straight. Congratulations to Patchogue. Right now, let's go to Jimmy Cavallo, who's standing by down on the field.
All right, guys, standing by with a young man who was all over the field to play tonight, Derek Rossi. You talk about the Long Island Championship, a 12-12 game at the half. Shut him out 2nd half.
Oh, my God, it was just incredible. When we first came out, we knew they were going to be tough and everything, but, we worked hard. We worked since the summer. We worked hard up to this, and, it just paid off. We started wearing them down. We felt it, and, it paid off.
Tough team for you guys to play Freeport. You guys are such a physical team, but with that quick strike, boy, they were right in this game.
Oh my God, it was incredible. It was like so many games we played though. Brentwood, great team, scored quickly. All the other teams scored quickly, but we don't lose faith at all. We stay in there.
Talk about your team, back-to-back titles. You guys come into this Long Island Championship 2 years in a row, walking away with the big old trophy.
Oh, it's incredible. You can never get used to this. I come here 5 times, and it's just wonderful. I'm sure everyone feels the same way. It's just a great feeling.
As a senior, that's it. You hang it up there. Patchogue Medford, your career's over. I know you're going out to bigger, better things. Put it all in perspective, what it was like to play for Patchogue Medford.
I wouldn't want to play with any other team. I grew up with these guys, and I want to die with these guys. There's no easy way to put it.
All right, Derek Rossi, get in there, some celebration time. An emotional young man, but the defense was up to the task in the 2nd half. It's all over. Suffolk reigned supreme in 1997. We'll take a quick break, but straight ahead, Barry Landers and Tom Howard will close this one out. Patchogue Medford 27, Freeport 12. Head coach Bob Scanoni's here, and it's got to feel good right now, Bob. Back to back, it was gut check time for you guys at the half, and put together a nice 24 minutes of football.
Yeah, I mean, it was no doubt a great football half. We had the ball the whole time, and every time we got the ball, it's toughening to score. So I mean, 1 1/2 time, we felt that we were moving the ball, and kids made great plays on their team, and they do a great job coaching, but we were able to hold on there, wear on them a little bit, caught a couple of breaks. Panera puts a ball on the money down here, gets us a score there, gets us ahead, and because of that, that's why we're here.
One thing we noticed up in the booth, Barry Landers, Tom Howard, how diverse and creative you are on the big 3rd down plays, and give credit to your team, they executed and came through.
I don't know, I really don't think about that until afterwards, and when me and my staff watch the film, then we sit there and we go, wow, can't believe it. So, I mean, didn't notice it, but I guess it happened, and we got big plays today, and that's why they won.
And once again, your defense comes through, shut out in the second half. Derek Rossi all over the field, another 11-0 season. It's all there for you tonight.
You know, Derek's the greatest football player I've ever seen in my life. So, I mean, the kids are happy. We're all happy. Two-time champs, and not too many guys have done that. So, you know, we're glad we are where we are.
Entering some elite status. Go get your trophy right now, Bob Scanoni. Congratulations. Wow, what a ball game right there. Class 1 is all over. Barry Landers, Tom Howard, it's been a pleasure. Take it away.
All right, Jimmy Cavallo, thank you very much. Well, a lot of weapons. We saw Funaro run effectively. 2 touchdowns, 142 yards through the big pass to Bola to set up another score. As they said, a lot of weapons, a very impressive effort for Patchogue Medford.
A lot of weapons and able to execute. You execute in big games, you win in big games. 5 third-down key situations in the second half, 1 fourth-down key situation in the second half. Sirigliano coming up with a huge game. For now, we expected Murphy and Rossi and that line, and Chris Bola. Let's not forget him with a couple of big catches.
Well, in '93, it was Nassau County sweeping all 4 games. Massapequa Conference or Class 1, Garden City Class 2, New Hyde Park Class 3, Bellport Class 4. And this year, right coming up with the victories, it's Suffolk County as they sweep all 4.
Well, that was Bethpage Class 4, but not Bellport because they're in Suffolk.
Right.
But this year you come back and we have, you know, North Babylon and Babylon coming up with Bellport, and right now this great team for Patchogue Medford. So it's an even sweep, but it's 13-11. Suffolk leads now. Next year is another year, Barry.
Tom Howard, again, a pleasure working with you. Another great season of football comes to an end.
I appreciate it, and thank you, Barry, and Hal Sass, everybody in Cablevision. I appreciate working with you.
All right, we've got basketball and wrestling coming your way later on in the new year. Once again, for all our crew here, including Jimmy Cavallo, Hal Sass, Tom Howard, yours truly, Barry Landers, producer-director John Connell. The final score, the Class 1 champions, the Patchogue Medford Red Raiders. They win, knocking off a very game team from Freeport. We'll be back with basketball in the winter. Once again, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching Cablevision's LISN.